Hi, Mark here from the Tangent Bound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangent Bound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangent Bound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangentBoundNetwork.com and see if Tangent Bound Network is right for you.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swabs it with Earl so it glistens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
The boys will let you know when there's a spurler. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language, episode 336.
I don't know.
Tony.
Podcastiest podcast in New Year? I don't know. Shit, I'm all out of practice.
I was gonna say the Tony's backiest podcast.
Yeah, that too. It's good to be back, Brian. Sitting in my chair, I got my dog crowding all the space by my feet.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I got all the electronics on, my little smelly skull thing going, and my beer in my hand.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's a winning combo here in the High household.
Yeah, the only kick in the dick, we've had is the Skype issue, but that's what we do.
It might be a little bit better now with the since we can't shoot gang signs at each other with the lack of video, which I kind of miss, to be honest.
Yeah, it is weird.
And since I completely kicked my router in its face and reset everything, it seems like you sound good.
Yeah, exactly. The quality has definitely gone up. It was pretty awful before you did that.
Yes. Like I said, we need to, maybe for a new year, we need to try to make it an effort to record more face-to-face.
Yeah.
Maybe not every show, but a couple times a month maybe or something.
Yeah, that seems like a strong idea.
Be a whole new world for salty language.
It would, yeah. People would be like, wow, I don't hear all the janky Skype sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, why does Brian keep yelling, "Get off my lap"?
Yeah. Just like the old episodes.
Yep, just like the good old days. Brings a tear to my eye, man.
Yep. Much like sweet cherry pie.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, rock on.
Yeah.
Man, I got big old thick socks on and slippers, and I think my feet are sweating like
Yeah.
a dog. It's so weird.
I actually have my slippers on too, because the floor here stays like ice cold, especially with it being like -2 million outside. So,
Dude, I don't want to talk about this fucking cold. It's been so cold this week.
How cold was it?
Here's how I know it's cold, man.
Yeah.
Whoa, my dog just made the weirdest noise. I know it's cold when I'm working, and just from being like standing on the ground, my boots basically freeze.
Wow. Yeah.
And then when I walk into office buildings, it sounds like the Gestapo coming up the hallway.
Sure. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, and the thing is too, is like it sucks here, but it's not anywhere near as bad as like what Boston and those, you know, the Eastern Coast is dealing with after that snow, whatever the hell it was, that bomb cyclone. That's what they were calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they just call it Snowicane?
That's what I was asking too. It's like, come on. Oh, by the way, I'm halfway through the script for Snowicane already for the Sci-Fi Network.
Fucking sick.
Yep. Oh man, I just have to figure out where to put some nudity.
Well, anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, I would think it's some sort of snow bunny like lady situation, maybe in a hot tub, and then Snowicane comes in.
That's a good call right there. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
It's like, I'm gonna go use the hot tub. Be like, baby, the Snowicane's coming. Like, I'll be all right.
So it's her getting in the hot tub, nudity,
bubbly,
right?
Yeah.
Snowicane comes in, hard nipple nudity.
Well, of course, yeah.
Gratuitous death scene.
Yeah, and then overacting by the guy finding, you know, like watching her just get, you know, I don't know.
Snowicane?
Snowicane, yeah.
Yes. Sounds like a great idea.
This is, man, well, now I'm 3/4 of the way done.
Now, Snowicane 2 is going to involve polar bears. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
It's like Sharknado, but polar bears.
It's understandable.
Yeah, right?
Oh, shit.
Because I don't think there's anything well, we could always create a snow shark, I guess.
Ooh.
That'd be sweet into marketing. The kids will love the toys.
Yeah, the snow sharks. You're right. Yeah.
Actually, that sounds like a sweet gang name.
If I ever start a high school, that's going to be the mascot. The Snow Sharks.
Right?
Or a pro team.
Snow Sharks.
Like, you know, if the Sharks weren't already in the NHL, you know.
Well, definitely. Here's my idea. You open up a karate dojo. So it's like Cobra Kai, but
yes.
you're the Snow Sharks.
Yes.
Yes.
You're right. That's where it is, too. Yep.
Perfect.
I like this a lot.
Goddamn Snow Sharks.
Right.
Nothing more dangerous.
Right. You listened to the show last week, right?
I did listen.
Okay.
That's the rare time I listen to Salty Language.
Well, yeah,
is when I'm not on it.
Right. The reason I was curious is because, or making sure was, you know, I tried to, express your hatred for driving through Georgia, but I don't know if I captured it, but I tried, you know.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I
for sure.
All right. So where do you want to start then?
Well, I do want to, you know, start off with a big fat, you know, shout out to Heno for stepping in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he killed it last week. The sound effects,
yeah,
that he actually had some that are not on my soundboard. I'm like, I need that sound effect.
Yeah, I actually thought that there were one or two he used. I can't remember what they were now. That I was like, oh, Tony should get that.
Yeah, probably my favorite was the disqualify.
Yes, that was one.
I was like, oh shit, that's a good sound effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had some sound effects I enjoyed. I can't believe he went through the effort.
Yeah.
Of like listening to our show.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know is painful for some people. and just to pull some, I mean, truth be told, if you would have sent me a message like, hey, because I had my Kindle with me, I couldn't send him any sound effect he wanted.
I didn't even think about that.
But it's okay.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, now you
But
know.
it was awesome. I mean, that was great, Heno. And I loved hearing the story about how he couldn't find a power supply to a soundboard that he needed to play the sound effects, because all I was thinking about was all the troubles I had with my stupid Nook.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Just fit right in, you know?
I know. It
yeah.
was like, wow, it's like he's living my life in Idaho
Right.
with snow and little doggies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, it was. It was a good time for me too. It was like I told you, it was really weird though. Well, two things. One, when I went to start the show, you know, when I do the Hey Enthusiast part, I almost started doing the intro to the Crazy Life, because when it's just Heno and I, usually that's how, you know, it would be for that show. So my mindset was there, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta make sure I do the right.
It would have been funny to just do the Crazy Life and then do like a record scratch.
Yeah. We kind of talked about that before we started, like, because I was pretty afraid I was going to say the wrong thing. I mean, no big deal. It's not live. I could, you know, obviously I could, you know, cut any part that makes me sound like an idiot out. So.
Oh, yeah. I cut that out.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah. I do that a lot on the Crazy Life though. Like if I'm the one doing the intro, you know, I have to get through the mindset of not saying, you know, hey enthusiast, well, you know.
Right.
So, 'cause
as funny as it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome to hear him on the show, and like I said, it was very weird listening to Salty Language, I'll be honest.
Yeah. I'll tell you, for his
I moved it up in my queue to listen to make sure I listened to it before, obviously, we recorded this week.
Right. I'll tell you, for a one-off appearance, he was more prepared than you've ever been. So.
I know. Shocked, man.
Yeah. I mean, he was ready to go with Dude Mountain already pulled up. And I mean, man, he was on top of it.
I mean, if you wanted to fill my shoes, you need to be completely unprepared, with the exception of a few scratched out notes on a piece of paper in front of him.
Right.
I'm not going to tell him to have an open beer because sobriety.
Of course. Yeah.
So have some tea.
Right.
Definitely have dogs taking up all your foot space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, he did an excellent job. It was awesome. It was good to hear. It was good to hear you guys on the show to, you know, let you be a little freer in this venue.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because over on the Crazy Life, we shoot for PG. You know,
right?
Try not to get too rude, but
rude and crude.
Yeah, over here, no.
Yeah, fuck that.
Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we are rated mature for a reason, right?
Yeah. Even though we're not. We should be rated immature.
Doop.
Yeah. So you didn't do anything, you know.
Nah.
And that
no.
Didn't think so. Yeah.
Nothing.
All right. I think it would be funny if, you know, like like Tony's going to Florida, they're driving, blah, blah, all this happens. And then when you come back, you and I just move forward. Like, don't talk about it at all.
Don't even acknowledge it.
Yeah. Like, all right, well, Tony must not want to talk about it.
No, we had a great time. It was the first time we've ever did Christmas, not with family. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, I'll consider Mecca basically family.
Yeah, I know
but not with immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually kind of nice. It didn't, although my only complaint would be it didn't really feel like Christmas.
Yeah.
Per se, because I'm so used to being cold and snowy, and it was warm and sunny, and, you know, there was Christmas lights up. That's how you knew it was Christmas, basically.
Right. Or there was a Stranger Things reenactment going on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Sorry, spoiler.
Spoilers. Oh, man. But no, we had a blast. I mean, I got a whole breakdown of events here.
Oh my.
You know, like we left, what was that, the day before Christmas Eve we left.
Right.
Right? It went bright and early in the morning because it's a long ass drive down to Florida from where, you know.
Yep.
Parts unknown, Michigan,
yeah.
where we live.
From the wrist of the mitten, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The wrist of the mitten. That's a great way of putting that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Like if there were snaps on the side of the mittens, we'd be in one of those snaps almost.
Dude, that needs to be a shirt. Salty language, hailing from the wrist of the mitten. Something like that. There's something there. I see it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But, as we're leaving, it started snowing like a motherfucker. Yeah. And it sucked, dude. I mean, it was a long time before we finally drove out of it, and it was not a pleasant experience driving. And, I'm like, and all I can think is, we're 3 hours or whatever into this drive, and this is why I don't want to drive to Florida.
Right. It was funny though too, because like when you told me when you guys were leaving, as I was watching the weather, I'm like, oh man, they're gonna be driving right with the weather, basically.
Yep.
I was like, oh.
And I knew the further south we'd get, eventually it would turn to rain, and we'd get out of the shit eventually.
Well, you'd at least hope so. I mean, the way
it did take a while, though. I want to say we were still in Ohio and it was still snowing.
Yeah, what was it, yesterday? I think it was. They were getting snow like halfway or so down in Florida. So
yeah, I know. I believe me. The day after we left, I was getting texts from Mecca like, "Oh my God, I'm freezing. It's like 65 here." And so like,
fuck you.
I sent her a snap of with the current temperature of like 3.
Yeah.
Like go fuck yourself.
Right. That's what I was telling somebody the other day when they were complaining about the weather and they live in the South. And I'm like, yeah, but here in a couple weeks, we'll probably get back to 50, 60 degrees. Like, for us, we're getting into like almost 40 at some point next week, I think, which, break out the shorts and sandals,
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's supposed to be like the 30s on Sunday, and it's like, oh man, I might not need a coat.
Right. Dude, it's supposed to be the 30s on Sunday, and everyone here is excited.
Yes, we can't wait.
Or like, 30, even though I don't know what the average is this time of year. It's probably around that, but
it's been so brutally cold this week.
Yeah,
30 is going to feel amazing.
It is, yeah. Especially when you look at night and the lows will only be in the 20s instead of the negatives.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, that's why I said, we understand we don't have it as bad as like the people up on the East Coast and what have you, but still, still sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But so, we drove, and we're like, we need dinner. It was basically unanimous decision. Everyone wanted barbecue because we're heading into South. So I found a little joint in Knoxville. I don't remember the name of it, which is fine.
Yeah.
So we stopped, had some because it was everything that was advertised on like the Google searches I was doing was like, voted best barbecue in Knoxville, blah blah. I was like, all right, cool, this place seems all right, and I was very excited because they had a sandwich. I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically a grilled cheese that had pulled pork and mac and cheese on it.
Sweet Jesus,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right, and I'm like, God, that's dumb. I'm ordering it.
Right, yeah, I would have too.
Yeah.
Very
underwhelming. Everyone was like, about the food there. I don't know how, if it was voted best barbecue in Knoxville barbecue sucks a dick. We were all just kind of like, it's okay.
Yeah. Right. I've been to places like that too, where they brag that they've got, that they're voted this in the city or whatever, and you're just like, that was okay.
Yeah, I think Jeannie got kind of like a micro sampler, I want to say. I can't remember what she got. It was so forgettable. I don't remember what anybody got.
Yeah.
Except for my dumb sandwich.
Right.
Yeah. Because, I've never seen that before. So I was like, I need this in my life.
Right. I've had a grilled cheese with pulled pork on it before at a barbecue place, but never also with macaroni and cheese on it.
Yeah. Well, and the problem was the bread wasn't really that grilled, and it was just you guys are really letting me down, man.
It should be like a Texas toast or something that's, real crispy and firm to hold that all together.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, and it was like like they put the bread in the pan, and it was like, okay, get it out of there. Like it got warm,
oh, boo, Boo. Yeah.
Yeah. We did get to sample a couple of the local beers, which that was fine.
Mm-hmm. But
all in all, it was just kind of like, although they did have some great quotes in the bathroom. Like, it was like, and they're all obviously made up shit. Like one was like, oh, hey, Adam said ribs are delicious or whatever. But You know, the best was the fuck. Oh my, just waving my arms around like an idiot. I just hit my step count. Thanks, Fitbit. Super accurate. Since I do sit by myself and talk with my hands like a moron.
Yeah, if those things worked by tracking your arm movements, Jesus, no one would touch you, you know?
Yeah, right, exactly. But no, the best quote they had on there was like, it was W.C. Fields, and I don't know if it's an actual quote, but it probably is.
Right.
And it was, everybody loves children. Or everybody loves when you bring children to a party, especially if they're prepared properly. Like, that's hilarious. But every time I went, because, you know, we're, you know, pissed like a goddamn racehorse over here.
What? Really?
Every time I went in the bathroom, I was like, I'm going to take a picture of that. There was somebody in there. I'm like, I can't just break my camera out in the bathroom.
Right, you could have.
With some random dude pissing, you know?
Yeah. What would have been great is if it would have been like in front of them and you had to like over the shoulder take the picture.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't mind me, buddy.
Yeah. Like, don't
Trust
move
me,
for a minute.
I'm not looking at that embarrassment in your hand right now. But that's like one of those aspects of like I watched Neil and Annalise's vlog.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I don't know how to just record in public sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm doing a Snapchat, I'm just taking a picture or something, or doing an Instagram, I get all self-conscious, like, whoa, God. Yeah,
I do too.
I'm that guy now.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, if I'm going to take a picture a lot of times, I mean, you've seen it where I'll wait and wait and wait, you know, so I get you.
Unless, Brian, you've been drinking Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale and you accidentally leave your flash on.
Right. And I just blatantly take a picture of the bartender who's 2 feet away.
2 feet away with her tits out.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Well, I was trying to send, a picture to a friend so that, cause we were like, hey, we were trying, I think it was somebody we were trying to get to come out. Like to come hang out with us.
Oh, it was so funny. That's a classic moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, the barbecue place kind of let everybody down.
That's a shame.
I know, but we still had more driving this day. This is still day one.
Isn't like, how, like I've said a long time ago, it's like the one thing I hate is if you go to like a comedy show and they're bad, because you just feel terrible for them because they're trying, but it's just not landing, whether it's the room or their jokes, either way. And it's kind of like that with barbecue. It's like barbecue is one of those foods that as soon as you smell it, you're like, oh, this is going to be so good. And then if it's not great or whatever, you're like, oh, it's just such a punch in the stomach.
Well, and then you have me because I'm the guy that found it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, come on, guys, it wasn't that bad, Right. I'm like trying to pump it up a little bit just for my own ego.
Right. Right. Because otherwise next time you'll get guff.
Exactly. Like, I don't suck that bad, right, guys? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it was underwhelming.
Be like, it'll turn out like, I mean, most people aren't going to get this, but it'll be like when we were in Chicago and when we were giving Matt shit about his choice of restaurant.
I hope he understands.
Yeah.
But Matt, if you still listen to the program, that place was delicious.
Yeah, he knows we were kidding around. We were just busting balls,
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, we still had plenty of driving to go. Because the hotel we booked was south of Atlanta.
Oof, yeah.
I know, right? So we hit Atlanta, and thank you, sweet baby Jesus, for the HOV lane.
Oh, right.
Because the first time I drove through Atlanta, I didn't know that existed, because, we live in the wrist of the mitten.
Right.
So we don't deal with HOV lanes here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, I felt like I was, I put a thing on Instagram on our way back up. I felt like basically I was in Mad Max Fury Road. Mm-hmm. The first time I drove through Atlanta.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. When we drove down there, luckily we saw the sign before we got into Atlanta, like, into the downtown, really congested area. We saw a sign that was like, carpool lane over here. And I was like, I wonder if we can ride in that. So I looked it up real quick and, yep, as long as you have 2 or more people.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing because no one's cutting in and out. It's one lane.
Yep.
And you just cruise through Atlanta.
Well, the best part about those is that, when you get near cities like Atlanta, Chicago, those kind of cities, they generally have the every exit, ramps. And then they also have the ones where it's just for the major exit, but you just constantly have people cutting across 4 lanes,
Right.
It's nuts. So that, like you said, you're just driving a straight shot right past it, you know.
And it has its own exits basically, and it's just like, boom, you just fly through the city. It was great.
Yep.
Like when I'm talking to people at work, like, oh my God, Atlanta. I'm like, no, HOV lane.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Just don't go by yourself.
That's
the key.
Yeah. If you go by yourself, or throw a blow up down next to you or something.
Seriously, pick up a hitchhiker. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And kick them out right as the exit the city.
Yeah. It's like you pick them up just outside of Atlanta and you're like, I can take you to the other side of Atlanta.
Like, where are you going? Miami? Yeah, get in.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the HOV was perfect. Flew through Atlanta.
Yeah.
I did find out, it seems like the further south we got, and this is not even day one of our travels. This is just in general. The further south you get, the crazier people drive, though. I mean, I was just trying to keep up with traffic at some points.
Yeah.
And I was doing like 80, 83.
Yeah.
Speed limit 70. People are flying by me like I'm standing still.
Yeah. That blew my mind, too.
It was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that was wild. But we hit our hotel late at night. Everyone, crashed. It's a beautiful thing, Brian. Goddamn beautiful thing. We made it to Atlanta. Day one of travels through Atlanta. So get up the next morning, go down, because we're Hampton Inn people. That's what we do.
Right.
And they have the free hot breakfast and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this Southern mama down there, nicest woman ever. Like Jeannie went down before the kids and I, and we get out of the elevator and I can hear Jeannie talking to somebody. I'm like, ooh. And it's just this like older, probably in her like late 40s, early 50s, like just Southern black woman, very Atlanta, just being just so super ridiculous nice. Then she sees Logan. Ah, you're such a big boy. Why aren't you eating? And he's like, I don't know. I just got here.
Yeah, she's like, you didn't have anything for the elevator?
Yeah, basically the whole breakfast, she gave him shit about how he wasn't eating enough food.
Wow. Well, Southern. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and granted, it was like 6 a.m. We're the only people down there eating at the time, so she had nothing better to do but annoy us.
Right.
But yeah, she wouldn't. Yeah, it was hilarious to watch her like keep ragging him about how he needs to go get another plate of food.
Right. I love it. The old Southern hospitality.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
But
that was my favorite part about going south. Like, unfortunately, once you hit Florida, it's a whole different beast. But on the way from through Georgia, when we stopped a couple of times, it was I just love seeing the difference culturally from up here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's fairly early in the morning, but it's like 45, 50 degrees out.
Yeah.
Feels amazing.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I've got like no coat on. I was wearing my knit cap, t-shirt, jeans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is incredible. And, we, of course, cause, it's Jeannie and I already had a local coffee spot dialed in to go get coffee before we hit the road.
Right.
And it's this little dinky, they might not, I don't know if they have them across the country, but you remember those little photo booths that you could drive up and like, you drop off your rolls of film and there's enough room for one dude to stand in there and jerk off on your film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It was basically that, but it was a coffee shop.
Okay.
And so we find it, pull in the parking lot, and I'm looking at it. And, I'm like, you know what? It's got a drive through, but I kind of want to park and walk up to it. And Jeannie's like, well, whatever you want to do. So we park, and there's a woman outside still hanging, like they just opened. She's hanging banners up. She's like, y'all, we got a drive through. And I'm like, nah, it's fine. We're good. We're going to be in the car all day. Walk up to the window, ordered coffees. They're delicious. They had local donuts, also delicious. Shout out pistachio donuts, by the way. Best thing in the world. But, she's like, we're working on your drinks. If y'all want to get in your car and pull around because it's so cold, I'm like, we're fine. She's like, we started talking about, I'm like, yeah, we're driving on to Florida for Christmas. She's like, oh, where are you guys from? Michigan. Oh, so this is probably feels great.
Yeah. It's like
yes.
Well,
we drove out of 20-degree weather.
That's usually how you can find tourists down there is in like 40, 50-degree weather. You're not wearing a coat.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas the people living there are in like their winter parka,
And, like for me, I already run a little hot as it is.
Yeah.
I pretty much everyone else in my family is like, oh God, as soon as the wind blows, they're like freezing.
Yeah.
But, it's another place. I have it saved in my maps because I always save things I like in my Google Maps because you never know when you might visit again.
Sure.
Don't remember the name of the place of it. Whatever. It's delicious though. And man, I've never had a pistachio donut. That's the only reason I got it.
Yeah, that's definitely different.
Dude, it was delicious. Delicious. But
Interesting.
here's a moment where we're like, okay, we're south of Atlanta, which is, Georgia. We've already traveled through Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, a good portion of Georgia. We have a state and a half to go.
Yeah.
Oh, we still have a day of fucking driving.
Yeah. It is brutal. Yeah.
It is the worst.
Yeah.
And my problem is like northern Georgia is fine because it's kind of mountainous.
Yeah.
It looks cool. You hit Atlanta and then you go into Florida. It's just nothing but flat.
Yep.
And it's nothing but billboards.
Yeah.
And Magnolia
my God.
Plantation gas stations.
There are so many billboards when you cross the border to Florida. From that point down, there's just billboards.
And they're hilarious billboards.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, we got strippers.
Yeah.
And there's like hot women. The next billboard's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It is.
And I really have two favorite ones that are both, they're both very churchy billboards. One was just abortion, America's Holocaust, which seems a little extreme in my opinion.
It does, yeah. A little bit.
Yes. But the other one was, and how they have the double billboards?
Uh-huh.
Well, whoever bought these double billboards. So the top billboard was a very happy couple, and it was clearly they were in heaven. They're holding each other, and there's clouds and sunshine. It's all blue, and they're smiling and shit. The billboard underneath them, same couple, flames fire, they're dressed as zombies. It's like, that's amazing.
That's great.
And then, of course, some sort of phrase about, church and don't, this is what happens, blah, blah, blah.
Did you
All
see...
I could think...
Did you see... There's like a strip club, I think, that's like on the like left side of the road, and it's a good sized place, and there was like this giant Jesus billboard above it.
It's probably the same strip club that their billboard was just said, we have strippers.
Oh, okay.
Enough said.
Okay. Well, there was one that, it wasn't too far from the strip club. There was this giant billboard that basically was like, like Jesus sees what you're doing or something like that. Cause I laughed and laughed, So I'm like,
oh,
do they
Jesus sees me touching my wiener.
It's like, do you think for a second anyone gets out of their car, sees that billboard and goes, what am I doing? And gets back in their car and drives off? Or do they go look at titties?
Ryan.
Yeah.
It is. Well, that's true.
Titties.
Yeah, I'm sure if you go in there, Jesus is in there.
Yeah.
Robes and all.
He's just in there for the lunch buffet though.
Sure. Buffet of titties.
Buffet girl.
Nice.
So yeah, those signs cracked me up so much. I remember when we went there, I think I posted some of them on Twitter and, was just making fun of them, and I got some heat from people on Twitter about it because they thought I was making fun of their religion. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just making fun of how ridiculous these signs are,
But I will start making fun of your religion if you keep this up.
Right? Because that's what it was too. I mean, they're just so ridiculous, That's all.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
But we finally hit Florida. We're hitting about, the lunchtime hour. And my lovely wife, because normally I find the food.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm getting hungry. I'll find something. I'm like, that's fine. Do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, well, how about Italian? Like, I don't care. Just find something that's not too far off the highway. That's not, Fridays, basically.
Right.
Because you know how we roll. We want to eat local.
Right.
You know?
Local Applebee's, right.
Yeah, it's like if I could go to Olive Garden here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to Olive Garden down there.
Right. Or up here.
So,
yeah.
Right, or up here. You are correct.
Yeah.
So she finds this place. She's like, well, it's this Italian place. It's got really good reviews. It's not too far off the highway. I'm like, perfect. Let's go. Get off the highway. We're literally in the middle of the fucking swamp. I mean, and don't get me wrong. It was beautiful in its own way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what the fuck? And we find this place, and it looks like a rundown house. There's a building behind it, and then there's another building to the right of it.
Yeah.
You know, but the billboard is there. It was like I can't remember the name of it. This is terrible. But the sign's there. There's beer banners. I'm like, I guess this is the place. So we park, get out of the car. We're the only car, except for I'm assuming the employees, are parked behind the building. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is supposed to be nice Italian, huh? She's like, hey, you know, it's got great reviews. We're walking to the building. This dude in like a really nice white shirt, dress pants, and a vest meets us, walks out of the restaurant. He's like, hey, how you guys doing? We're like, oh, we're just, we're just here to get some lunch. He's like, oh, cool. Well, today is our, because it's Christmas Eve now.
Yeah.
He's like, it's our Christmas Eve dinner. I'm like, well, you guys open? He's like, yeah. But the thing is, it's a 5-course meal. It's $65 a head.
Gah.
We're like, oh. But he's like, if you don't want to do that, right next door is it's a pizza place and a sports bar. They're open. I'm like, oh. It's all the same, people.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, cool. So we just keep walking. We walk to the next building over, and it looks like a big trailer that they converted, into a sports bar.
Right.
Kind of thing. Walk in, there's a nice bar, there's a bunch of high tops and stuff. They got football on. And the dude seats us, and we order some pizza. Logan got a meatball sub, and dude, it's probably one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
Well, there you go, right?
In the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
It was wild. Like, and I was looking at their the Italian, because they had a flyer up for their New Year's Eve party. Looking at the menu that the Italian place was,
yeah,
it seemed like pretty legit high end food.
Right.
It's just so weird.
See, that's when you said the guy met you with the vest and the shirt and all that stuff. I was like, oh boy. I was like, let me guess, you had to put a jacket on. That's what I thought was going to happen here.
No, and I'm sure if we were just had pockets of cash and we would have paid the, what was it, $260 for us to eat.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
I'm sure it would have been delicious.
Yeah, it probably would have.
Because the pizza that we had was amazing. Leah got wings. They were amazing. Everything we had at the pizza place / sports bar was incredible. It was so weird.
Yeah.
That this place was out there was barely any houses around. It was weird. Just out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And it looked like if you didn't know it was a restaurant, you'd be like, if I went in there, I'd probably get stabbed.
Right. Sure. Oh, and maybe you would have,
Maybe. It was mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Like, how was dinner, sir? And you're like, oh, it was pretty, just stab. Stab. Like a prison shanking,
But that's one of those things that I love. I love finding places like that.
Right.
That's why I love going off the road a little bit,
Mm-hmm. That happened one of the times we were somewhere up in Michigan and we got lost. And, we didn't have GPS because this was before smartphones.
Right. We're old.
Yeah. So we got lost and there was we see an exit coming up and it said food. So we're like, well, let's, we'll go and get something to eat, ask for directions, basically, whatever. And this place was just a ghost town. There was like 2 cars in the lot and, and I'm like, I don't know about eating here, cause like it's off the highway, but it's not right off the highway. It's like a good distance down the road, basically. So we go inside and the place looked, it was kind of dim in there. But everything looked pretty nice, so we're like, whatever, we just get safe stuff basically just in case, and, but the food actually ended up being really good there. It was, just one of those that, they spent the money on the inside and the food, not on the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. I love places like that, though. I love stumbling on that shit.
Yeah. And they were super nice. They gave us directions, too. So.
Well, that is nice.
Yeah.
I'll say with modern technology, it's a lot easier to find good places like that. Unlike those days where you just had to be like, well, let's hope it's good.
Yeah, because literally that's what it was, and I've eaten in plenty of greasy spoons in my life, so I've rolled the dice a bunch, but, like I said, you walk in there and you're like, man, I don't know, I feel like they probably are serving what they just caught,
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah.
But we finally, I mean, it's, it took us forever to get to down where Mecca lives, which is Malachet.
Right.
It's a nice little island, not too far. And it's like in the Fort Myers area. It's cool. It's actually a really cool little community. It's all art and fishing, which is neat.
Mm.
It's one of those places, if you didn't know existed, you wouldn't go there. Kind of, or you wouldn't, you just don't hear about it, but it's really neat.
Okay.
But so Jeannie's calling our Airbnb guy, because we were supposed to be down there at 3. Didn't happen because it just takes forever. And the guy's like, well, I got a Christmas dinner. I'm just going to leave the keys under the doormat. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We get to the little spot we rented called the Crab Shack. And dude, it was awesome. It was like, cause like Jeannie's been all about tiny house living forever.
Yeah.
I get it now, because this wasn't exactly a tiny house, but it was a pretty small place. I had, a master bedroom, had 2 other, they're basically closets of beds in them for the kids to sleep in. A little kitchen with a dinette area, like a sitting room. And that's pretty much all it had, a bathroom, obviously.
Yeah.
But we didn't use all the space, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. And I could see how not having a giant house makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
But the place is great. The weather down there was incredible. It was like 80 and sunny every day. I'm not going to complain about that.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Not at all. When we got down there, because the guy called us, and he called us back after we agreed he's leaving the keys on. He's like, oh, by the way, you should go to the grocery store before you come to the rental, because everything's closing at 5.
Oh, wow.
We're like, oh, shit. And he's like, also buy ice. The fridge doesn't make ice. We're like, oh, okay, cool. So as we bought all the groceries we needed. As we're leaving, we happened to see Mecca walking in. But we're like, we don't have time for this shit. we'll get over later.
Yeah.
But got to the Airbnb, unpacked it, all that good stuff. Get a hold of her, because she's like, oh yeah, when you guys come down, let me know. We'll figure out dinner. Love Mecca to death. The whole thing, Gina, she was like, oh, we'll figure out dinner. We figured she had plans, we'll meet here.
Yeah.
Zero plan. Which, known her long enough, should have expected.
Right, yeah.
So now we're in a scramble, because we didn't really, we bought stuff for breakfast,
Yeah.
We didn't buy, things to make dinners with.
I don't know. You said you bought breakfast, so. Well,
fair enough. Yeah. So, but we're in a scramble trying to figure out where we're going to meet her and Aria for dinner, and every place we call, closed. We find one place. It's called the Sandy Hook. It's like a bar not too far. Or no, I'm sorry. Jeannie found a place. We drove to it. It was closed.
Yeah, jeez.
Bastards.
Right.
But so we go to this place called the Sandy Hook, because there was a ton of cars when we drove by it. And walk in, I'm like, hey, to the hostess. She's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, yeah, I need a table for, what do we have? 6? And she's like, oh, well, it's going to be 30, 35 minutes. So I'm like, that's fine. Everywhere else is closed.
Yeah.
Little did I know, they were supposed to be closing 5 minutes after I walked in.
Oh, man.
I didn't know this.
Right.
The place is packed. But so I stood there for 2 seconds, and then the hostess comes over. She's like, I just want to let you guys know our manager said that if you guys want, you guys can just sit at the bar. And I'm like, we got kids. And she's like, it's fine. So
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
she's like, I just want to seat these motherfuckers to get them out of here.
Exactly.
Which so you're fine with, because you're like, cool, we get to eat quicker.
Yeah, well, because we sat down immediately, and then, of course, the sort of questions started coming up from the other end of the bar. So I'm like, Jeannie and I were like, can we eat here? And I'm thinking, of course we can eat here. It's the fucking bar.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
weird. We could eat there. So it was amazing because we walked in and basically got sat immediately.
Right.
And the kids had their first sitting at the bar experience, which is a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey, you got to learn at some point. Yeah.
Got to learn at some point. But man, it was a nice little dinner. I mean, they had fresh like peel and eat shrimp, but me, when I go down to Florida, I'm punching seafood right in its face.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, because it's fresh there. Yeah,
it's fresh, exactly. So I did that. I did some like clam chowder. I was whacking down beers. It was a great evening.
Right. Should have been whacking down clam chowders.
I did that too.
Just drink them straight out of. Yeah, I was going to say just straight out of the can. Oh
God. I was like making deals with our bartender, although she, snuffed me. Whatever. Because I was telling her, I'm like, oh, we need to get maraschino cherries because we brought a bottle of bourbon as a gift to the Christmas dinner we went to.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should get stuff to make old fashions for the Christmas dinner. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
When we went to the grocery store, neglected to buy maraschino cherries.
Nice.
So I'm talking to the bartender, and I'm like, I don't remember her name, but because of course we're on a first name basis now with her.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm like, hey, what's your face? I got a weird question for you. She's like, yeah. I'm like, is there any chance when we leave you can give me a bunch of maraschino cherries? She's like, oh yeah, of course I can do it. We completely forgot to ask her about it when we left.
Right.
Whatever. But after all that drive, we weren't doing anything besides eating dinner, going home, and going to bed. Now, mind you, Brian, I ate good. I had a few beers. I didn't get nutty. I woke up feeling like the hottest. Like I feel like I was drinking all night when I woke up. It was weird. I don't understand it. How that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless it was like a driving hangover, maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea. It was bizarre shit ever. I mean, like the next day we did the breakfast thing and we were all kind of slow going. It was kind of cool because where we rented was I could walk anywhere I wanted besides Mecca's house because the road that leads to her place is kind of like a busy highway and there's not like a sidewalk.
No, you'd be fine.
Yeah, probably. But we could walk anywhere we wanted. It was great.
Yeah.
And plus our rental came with bikes. It was awesome. I was going on bike rides every day. It was sweet.
Huh. Right.
But we did a Christmas dinner with like the same people we did Thanksgiving with last year at a different house.
Right.
That was awesome. We just had it was a great time down there. The Christmas dinner was delicious. This dude just firing a young kid, don't remember his name. Sorry, young kid.
Yeah.
Fire down all the foods. Yeah, it was awesome. We got to go see Mecca play. She plays stand-up bass. I don't know if you saw my Snapchat that, Brian.
Yep, I did. Yep.
Excellent work. That day, I may have had like 18 beers too many. Because we went to the grocery store again because we just bought a couple odds and ends. And I'm like, we really need some like we should maybe buy food, like bread, so the kids can have bagel, whatever,
Right.
So we went back to the grocery store. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna because the beers we had in the fridge were all high octane stuff we brought.
Right.
I'm like, I need a beer I could just drink and not get fucking plowed and fall into the canal.
You mean like all day?
They didn't have all day, but they did have my one of my favorites now, the Coors Banquet beer.
Boo. Yeah.
So I bought some of the, dude, I was whacking down those like all day just because the area, the rental we had, you could tell it used to be a carport and they turned it into like a sitting area. Like they fenced it off. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So we brought our little like Bluetooth speaker. I was out there just listening to music, just whacking down beers.
Right.
We're smashing beers. Then we're like, oh, we need to go see Mecca play. Went and watched her play. Smashing beers. Jeannie's like, it's getting, because it was outdoors on the water. She's like, is there any chance you can go back to the place to get my hoodie? Because I forgot it. That's fine, baby. No problem. Go back. I'm like, since I'm here, I should drink a beer. Just smashed a beer real quick. I got pretty lacquered that day.
Well, you got a pregame before you go back.
Apparently.
Or halftime, I guess,
Yeah, it was great seeing her play. I did get, like the kids came with us, which was cool because I got to see her play. And then when they were done, we just gave them the keys. They walked home. Dude, I got pretty full libations.
Right.
which is fine. When we were down there, of course, because it's Jeannie and I, we went to the farmer's market.
Right.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
It was pretty cool. Actually, we talked to some woman out of New York. She makes pickles. Best pickles I've ever had in my life. We bought a ton of them. They're delicious. They make it, and Leah and I are officially going to be making pickles now because of this.
Right.
Because Leah, I love my daughter. She is very particular about her pickles, right?
Okay.
So she's like, well, let me try one of your spicy ones, because she's also a chili head. And she took one bite and she's like, oh my God, we need to buy these guys. When she says that about pickles, we're like, okay, I guess they're amazing. And they were. They're incredible. So, you know, went to the farmer's market, bought some pickles. There's a Vietnamese place on this island called the Island Pho and Grill.
Okay.
Dude.
Pizza place?
I wish. No. We met Mecca and Aria and Mecca's boyfriend there for lunch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I know, are you a soup guy?
Not really. No.
Fair enough. Well, pho is amazing. It's like the big ass bowl of soup of all the fixins, you know?
Right.
This place, we've been there twice now, because the first time we went and visited her, we were like, oh, sweet, Vietnamese food. Like, we should eat there.
Yeah.
Second, this place is amazing. If you go to Malachet, go to Island Pho. It's delicious. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Delicious.
Fair enough.
We, filled up there, had some Vietnamese beers. It was incredible. Come to the day we're leaving, which sucks. Because at this point, I'm like, I don't want to go home.
Well,
I'm enjoying life down here.
Right. Yeah. It's like you're having a good time. You don't want to go back to the grind. And then there's that drive, too.
Yeah, there's a 2-day drive back.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we had the people next door, because the guy who rents our place rents the place next door, which we're definitely going to go back and hopefully bring more people and rent both places. That's where our thing is right now.
Yeah.
These people next door from Canada, I didn't really get a chance to talk to them, unfortunately, because, they were never around when I was. And,
right.
couple Coors banquets in me, I would have been over there like hemming and hawing of them.
Hemming and hawing, nothing. You'd have been like inside their house,
Well, because my big curiosity was they're from Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
The amount of Ontario, Canada license plates I saw on my drive down there was overwhelming.
Interesting.
So I'm like, well, yeah, exactly. I'm like, what is going on here? Why are so many people from Ontario heading to Florida besides Florida?
Was it for euthanasia purposes, like to kill old people or something?
I have no idea.
All right.
Bizarre world.
Maybe they were visiting because, they've heard so much about and now in Florida stories, or meanwhile in Florida, or however you want to, a man in Florida, all those.
Florida man, all that good shit.
Yeah.
Well, last day, we packed up the night before. We, got up, got dressed. Well, there's a little coffee shop that, believe it or not, we hadn't been to yet. Like, before we go, we should eat breakfast at the Perfect Cup. Go in, dude. I wish I would have known how good this place was. Because they have self-serve coffee. All these things full of coffee. It was all delicious. They had something called Santa's Grog. Amazing.
It's funny because that sounds more like a beer than a coffee.
I know, right? Well, it was a coffee, and it was slightly whiskey flavored.
Oh.
It was very delicious. And normally I don't do flavored coffee, but
right.
I had to try it.
Yeah.
And it was good. I got this. I got the seafood thing. Are you a seafood guy? I can never remember who's seafood. Who's not.
No. Pretty much everything you're going to mention here. No, I'm kidding.
well, they had a seafood omelet that was full of crab and had a ton of shrimp. It was delicious.
Something like that I might give a go at.
Dude, it was so good. Jeannie got steak and eggs, and your typical breakfast steak and eggs is 6-ounce steak, 7-ounce steak.
Mm-hmm.
They slapped down a 12-ounce steak in front of her.
Wow. Yikes.
It was only $12.95 for her meal.
Wow.
Steak, eggs, and grits, because she loves grits.
Right.
And she said the grits there were legit.
Good.
Right?
It sucks when you get bad grits. Oh.
I'm not a grits fan. I like shrimp and grits, but in general, but she loves them.
Right.
And she said they were incredible. And I found out because we were talking to the guys who probably own the place that they're from Jersey. I could kind of tell they're from Jersey because they had scrapple on the menu. And they had ham roll, which that's definitely a Jersey thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was like, I think the place is incredible. Awesome coffee, awesome food. and they do lunch. We're like, God damn it, we're for sure coming back to here again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the day we left, it was like, I don't know, cool and gray and shitty. So it was probably a good day to leave.
Right.
Man, yeah, that island life, man. Seems like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was like just kick back and fish down there because I haven't fished in a while, and everyone's always fishing around you. And
right.
I could get used to that Florida life. Like when we were hanging out at Mecca's place, we were playing dominoes and shit, and you look out over because she's got a place that's on a canal. It looks out into a bay. Fucking dolphins and shit. It's like, this seems like paradise down here.
Yeah.
Until you read news stories about, some guy stabbing some guy in the face with a screwdriver because Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, for no good reason. It's just,
right.
Just some weirdness.
Ah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Then we had our journey home, which the way home was way worse than the way down there.
Yeah.
For some reason, way more many. Man, I'm dumb. Tons of cops. On the way down there, I didn't see any. The way up there, cops everywhere.
Right.
So I was like, well, now I need to obey these speed limits that I didn't think existed in the South.
Yeah.
We had that. I've got these black jeans that I took with me that I should have wore on some other day besides the drive home.
Yeah.
Because they're a little on the tight side.
Mm-hmm.
And they make my ass pop.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
But for driving,
not a good
for
choice.
12 hours,
yeah,
terrible idea.
Right. They might make your ball pop.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
And I'm already been drinking and eating like a savage.
Right.
So this is a terrible idea, Tony. What are you doing? So I'm telling everyone, I'm like, Jeannie, the first stop we're making when we get caught, whatever we're doing, I'm getting into the car and I'm getting out like my workout pants I brought and I'm just going to wear those. And she's like, I'd rather you didn't unpack the car. And I'm like, I understand, but you have no idea what pain I'm going through right now. But she's like, well, we're going to a Costco to gas up because that's always our game plan when we go anywhere.
Yeah.
Map out the Costco's, get gas there because it's cheaper.
Right.
So she's like, why don't we, before you get crazy and rip the whole back of the car apart because the suitcases are on the bottom.
Of course. Yeah.
Let's go into Costco just to see if they have like pants or shorts. I'm like, I don't want to buy. Okay, let's go. Going to Costco, they got these like sweatpants, $14.99. She's like, let's just get you a pair of these. I'm like, that's what. Okay, dude, I'm wearing them right now. Most comfortable pants I've ever owned. I just wore we went into Starbucks. I changed pants. It was great.
Right. Just right in the middle of the place, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were waiting for your coffee.
Dicks out the ricks out, right?
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We definitely proved our nerd status on the drive home because we played, a role playing game basically all the way home. My character is a android named Fistor because he's got a big rebar fist he punches people with.
Sure, like the He-Man guy, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. It's a very silly game that you can basically do whatever you want with that Logan ran. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
We safe to assume that Georgia sucks major dicks. It took forever to get through Georgia. Like the hotel we booked was north of Atlanta this time.
Right, yeah.
There was accidents. It was insane how long it took to get to our hotel.
Right.
To the point that I'm like, there's so many accidents ahead of us right now, and we're heading into rush hour Atlanta traffic. We should pull off and get dinner.
Yep.
And, Jeannie was like, I really would like to get to the hotel first, and then we can, I'm like, okay, and we drove a little longer. She's like, yeah, I think you're right. We should definitely go get dinner.
Yeah, Atlanta's one of those cities that's just a nightmare. Cincinnati can be that way, too.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Like, I remember for a while they were working on that bridge from Cincinnati, that's across the river there. And every time we went to do a flea market, like they were working on it for, months. And it was down to like 2 lanes, basically. One going, 1 to and 1 from, basically. And, you know, the one time we were on it, there was an accident, and I'm like, you know, and my dad's like, yeah. He's like, when we get up here, he's like, we're going to pull off for a little while, let this crowd, traffic disperse.
Yeah, that was my goal, and that's what we did. We got some food, and it was, once again, like Thai food, great reviews. Service was horrible. And it was just like, it was all just meh.
Yeah.
And then I wish I would have, so we went up the road a little bit. There was a gas station because we needed fuel. And there was a Mediterranean restaurant attached to the gas station. I'm like, I bet you we would have had better food here.
Yeah.
And then with the gas stations right here, it would have been perfect. But as I'm gassing up, I'm looking at the top of the pump, and they're advertising within the gas station, like grade A Angus steaks you could buy.
Nice.
Which really confused me.
So how many did you get?
0.
Oh, really?
I don't know what sort of lizard they're trying to pass off as beef, but I'm not interested.
Yeah, nowhere on the sign does it say beef.
Yeah, it's just steak.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But man, once again, took us forever. Got to the hotel late as fuck. I mean, even our hotel app, because, you know, we have the Hampton app or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at my Google Maps. I'm like, this is the hotel right here. And Jeannie's like, but the app I'm looking at says we're a mile and a half. I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Let's just go. Hopefully this is it. If not, we'll figure it out. It was it. Our apps are all fucked up. Whatever.
Awesome. Yeah.
And this hotel was nice, but the breakfast the next day was very lacking.
Right.
Like, I don't think they expected the kind of traffic they were getting. Everything was well picked over. We just did what we could just to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
But, you know, once again, because of this tradition of my family, I'm like, okay, guys, there's 2 coffee shops. Which one we going to? Leah picked it. We had to backtrack a little bit to it. So glad she did. It was in this little town in Georgia, downtown area. Amazing coffee shop. Deliciousness. I had a hard time finding it because all I could see was coffee. And it was this goddamn Sasquatch in a gi because it was coffee jujitsu. But it was like COFFEY coffee.
Okay. Like
And
Paul
then the
Coffey
coffee
used to play
shop
for the
was
Wings.
next door to it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so I'm like, all I see is coffee, and I drove by it, and then we did another lap. And you know, Leah's like, I saw a neon sign coffee cup. I'm like, all right, well, we'll park here because I found a spot. I'm like, let's check it out because according to my Google Maps, it should be right. Yeah, it was next door to Jiu-Jitsu place. So you had coffee and coffee right next door to each other.
Nice.
Kind of fucked me up a little bit.
Now, did you get any jujitsu while you were there?
Just on my whatever part of your body accepts caffeine. That got all jiu-jitsu'd up.
Fair enough.
But it was awesome. It was one of those, like, a cool little town. I'm like, I can see coming back here, you know?
Yeah.
One of those deals. But the one thing we told our kids is we're driving, you know, this whole road trip, we're like, hey, we're going to get ice cream at some point. And it came up. Like, you know, we haven't got ice cream. We're like, fuck, we haven't got ice cream yet. Because there's an ice cream spot in Florida that we never went to. It was on the island. We just never went to it.
Right.
So Jeannie starts doing research. Finds this place in Lexington, Kentucky. She's like, oh, this place looks pretty cool. Show me a couple pictures. I'm like, yeah, it looks all right. Let's go there. This place called Crank and Boom. Right?
Yeah.
Took forever to get to because it was kind of off the highway more than we would normally go. But whatever. Dude, I'm so glad we went here.
Yeah.
We're coming up the road, and there's this giant building. It's got this huge graffiti mural on the side. I'm like, that is awesome. I took a picture of it.
Right.
It was within, like, on the other side of the building was where this Crank and Boom was. And it's a whole complex you and I could spend hours at.
Really?
Because there's a lounge, which is just this little cocktail bar, right?
Right.
There's Crank and Boom, which was the ice cream store, which they make all their ice cream in-house, and they have adult ice cream, like sundaes with like bourbon and bourbon cream involved.
Nice.
You know, like Leah got a chocolate stout ice cream, which this is why I love my daughter. It was delicious. I got bourbon honey ice cream. The place is amazing. But there's that. There's a farm to table restaurant, which is also a distillery. No, I'm sorry, also a brewery.
Oh, wow.
There's a pizza place that's also a distillery.
Wow.
So you have all this in one little complex.
Wow. Do they have like a cot or something I can go sleep on? Because if
Dude.
so, I'm home.
I have it bookmarked. Jeannie already talked. Like, we're going back to Lexington. Because even driving out of the city, it's nothing but like horse farms. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. I've made that.
It's like,
I've been on that road a few times.
yeah, it was awesome. It's like, but that place right there. Like, I was like, I wish we had more time, honey, because we could for sure spend all day here. I would visit every establishment in that little complex.
Maybe more than once.
Yes.
Like just go from one to the other, you know?
It was very cool.
Yeah. Go get pizza and whiskey or whatever, and then go have some beers, and then go have some, adult ice cream.
It was awesome.
And then sit in the lounge and, try not to die from being so full.
Well, and then they had like fire pits outside and people were getting the fires going. I was like, God damn it. This place is great.
Wow.
Like we bought bourbon marshmallows. Holy shit. Oh man. Whoa. So good.
Yeah. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it was incredible. But, so, left Lexington, we're like, okay, it's time, we need to get home. We're going to make one more stop. That's going to be dinner at some point. But we need to get home. Covington, Kentucky, right on the edge of the Ohio River there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it started snowing about an hour outside of Covington as we're heading north. By the time we got to Covington, if you remember correctly, it's got that pretty high grade down into the Ohio River Valley. Mm-hmm. Dude. 15 miles an hour.
Oh,
everyone, because the traffic was so bad, the roads are so bad. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
I didn't hit highway speeds in Ohio because of the snow, because we drove right into a storm.
Right.
I didn't hit highway speeds until we hit Bowling Green.
Oh my God. Wow.
I was doing 35 basically through the entire state.
Oh, man.
It was a nightmare.
For those who don't know, Bowling Green's about 20-ish minutes from where we are, 25 minutes, something.
Yes.
And
yes.
yeah. So, and that's from like the northern border of Ohio. So
yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you drove 90% of the state.
Yeah, doing 35.
Oh God.
And the traffic was, because we got north of Cincinnati, the traffic was so bad. I'm like, once again, let's do dinner.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting hungry. Let's wait for this rush hour to die off.
That's why I said it's amazing, because I've been to way bigger cities than Cincinnati, but the traffic there is so nightmarish when it's like rush hour.
Oh, it's brutal.
The rest of the time it's not terrible, but when it's like that, or if there's road construction, something like that, it's so awful.
It's not. No bueno.
Yeah.
Nope. But so we decided though, since we're just right outside Cincinnati, we're going to treat our kids to Skyline Chili because they've never been.
Right.
Oh man, I missed that.
Oh, I know, right?
Dude, chili 5-way.
Yep.
They got habanero cheese now.
Oh, do they?
Yes, please.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I dropped a fat elbow into that plate.
Yeah, I would have too. Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody enjoyed themselves at Skyline Chili.
Yeah.
But that drive was so brutal. It took us forever to get home, but we finally made it. And well, here we are.
Yeah.
I keep telling my wife, we should never ever drive to Florida again. Because it's not even the drive, because I love a road trip.
Yeah.
But it's like my stress is we're driving in the snow now. Basically, everybody who's the most important people in my life are in my car.
Right. Yeah.
Super unsafe. It's just, it stresses me the fuck out, man.
Right.
Yeah, it was something. I mean, hopefully the next time we go down there, if we're driving, it's because we're taking our dog with us. Because everywhere we went in Malachet was very dog friendly.
Oh, right.
But other than that, dude, it's just between the gas and we basically lost 4 days of vacation too.
Yeah.
It's like between all that, it just seems, I don't know how flying's not the way to go.
Yeah.
But we never would have stumbled across that like swamp Italian place.
Right?
Honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's like pros and cons.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you said, if you look at it as a road trip, it's a little, it's a little different on your psyche than, when you start comparing it to flying. You're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense, Although, with those storms and stuff that went through, you might have had some nightmares if you flew too, because they were like Atlanta's airport was like locked up for. I
would have had us fly right to Fort Myers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was amazing how many flights were shut down, like in the South, because they had ice and different stuff. They couldn't do it because they were covering it on the news up here. Because they kept showing people just been like, yeah, I'd just like to go home.
Yeah, it was. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like I say, if the weather was fine, it probably would have been better. But
yeah.
And between the snow, I just, and I'm, I drive for a living.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks too, because I'm like, I'm on vacation. Oh, I'm doing what I do anyway.
Yeah, that's true. You have one of those professions. Yeah. Most people get away from their job for the week or whatever. They're on vacation.
Right. And, I could have let Jeannie drive more, but honestly, when I'm riding, I don't relax because I'm so used to being in control of the car.
Right. Yeah, my dad was always that way too. He would always drive.
I mean, there was one time when we were heading back, we pulled over. I'm like, I was having such a hard time to keep my eyes open. I nodded off for like a half hour or so, and then I was like, ready, set, go.
Yeah. Right. And then you pulled off the road. No. Like Jeannie just reached over every once in a while and straightened you back out on the road,
Oh man, but yeah, that was basically the summary of my Florida adventure. It was awesome. Yeah. Florida gets shit all the time. I'm a big fan of going there.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like the last time I went, I'm like you. Like the trip to and from, stunk. But there were moments though. Again, like laughing at the billboards. A couple of places we stopped to eat were really good. Kind of like what you were saying.
Right.
But in the end, you're like, well, the time I was there was great. Although I was down there longer than you were because we were there for I think we were down there a week. We were on vacation a week and a half, but like you said, 4 days is driving. So.
Right. Yeah. That's my big thing. It's like, I wish I had those 4 days as vacation and not.
Yeah.
But, whatever. It is what it is.
Just get an Uber next time, dude.
Yes, please.
Can you? Oh man, I wonder will they let you do that? Like if you're like, hey, I need a ride to Florida.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Like if someone's willing to drive it, I mean,
right?
I can't imagine how horrible the price on that would be, but
Oh my god, that'd be brutal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because just thinking of some of the rides we've taken, and how ridiculous a few of them have been.
Right, exactly. Oofa.
Yeah. All right. Fun.
Woo.
So
yeah.
So how's your week back been?
It's been all right. I mean, I ended up working New Year's Eve.
Right.
Because when I was in Florida for my part-time gig, when I was in Florida, they called me like, "Is there any chance? Because nobody is working and we're so busy."
Sure.
And I was like, and it was weird because it's the first New Year's Eve that I wasn't like with friends or with Jeannie.
Uh-huh.
And I was literally, as the ball dropped, I was sitting in a parking lot waiting for my pickup.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucked.
Right.
But I made a lot of money.
Yeah. so there's that. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I made good money for the few hours I worked.
It'd have been different if you'd made nothing on the night. Then it'd be like, man, what am I doing here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I ended up doing 2 jobs that night. And like the first people I was driving them to a nice fancy restaurant in the limo bus we have.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, it's got like the stripper lights, the whole situation back there.
Nice.
And I got downtown Toledo and they're like, yeah, our reservations aren't for like an hour. Can you just drive around? I'm like, sure. So I just drove around and they partied in the back.
Nice.
I mean, they brought a full bar with them. It was insane.
Wow. Huh?
Fair
enough. Yeah. Whatever. As long as they're paying for it. Yeah.
Exactly. That was my thoughts too. I was like, well, who gives a shit? Yeah. Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah. Cause it's funny, cause, you'd think, like, if that was us and we were like, oh, we still have an hour, we'd probably just be like, let's hit up, let's hit a bar or something beforehand.
Well, that was my thought, because I pulled them up to the place, and I'm like, so, because I was thinking us. Like, we would for sure just go to Mutt's.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it was at the Oliver House.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They went to Rockwell's.
Yeah, we definitely head down to Mutt's for another.
Yeah, exactly. But I made a killing. It was nice to walk out with a nice wallet full of cash and stuff that night.
Yeah.
For the sacrifice I made to not seeing my friends and family.
Yeah.
But although earlier that day, Steve, that you and I were talking about before we started recording, him and his wife, they're like, what do you guys do on New Year's? Do you want to come over and have breakfast? We're like, sure. Dude, he threw down. Like, we showed up at their house. I was bullshitting with his wife a little bit because I was expecting Steve to come out and start, hang out with us. He never did. So I'm like, I'm going to the kitchen. Go in there. He's got coffee going in 2 different areas. He's got a percolator. He's got espresso going in something else. He's making waffles. He's making French toast. He's making eggs. He's making sausage. He's making bacon.
Wow.
he was throwing the
seriously
fuck down.
Man, you've never been that rigid before, have you?
What?
I said you've never been that rigid before, have you?
Dude, breakfast was exactly right.
I was like
I am so aroused right now.
And he's like, "Oh wait, I forgot. I'm also making this." And you're like, "Please, I can only get so erect." The line from Archer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was pretty nutty. but nice. We went over and hung out them that was before I went to work. It was,
Yeah.
But it was very nice to just hang out and have this big, ridiculous breakfast and shoot the shit with those guys. And
sure.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, that is cool. It's weird because when you said breakfast, I was like, breakfast? Because, I was thinking more like, lunch or dinner or something like that, but breakfast was not what I expected.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. And he like texts us later like, I wish we could have breakfast more often. We're like, hey, anytime you want, basically.
Yeah.
You come over to our place. We'll do breakfast here now.
You're like, hey, anytime you want. Like an hour later, he's like, you want to have breakfast?
They're like, no.
Yeah. Well, you're like, yes, but.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. I need a refractory period. Then we'll have more breakfast.
Right, exactly. But it was that was cool, and we had see here. I mean, it's just been it's been weird going back to work and freezing my dick off in the cold.
Yeah, I bet.
We did go the day after we got back because the kids we got back and they're like, oh, we're staying with Grandma and Grandpa because their cousins are there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the kids were over there. So we had a free night. We're like, well, Valerie texted me and she's like, hey, I'm doing karaoke DJ out at the Haven, which is a shit bar out in Swanton.
Okay.
She's like, do you guys want to come out? We're like, oh, sure. We had nothing better going on that night. So we went out to this place called the Haven. Mm-hmm. And we walked in. It was 6 people sitting at the bar and they all gave us the evil eye when we walked in. We're like, oh, it's one of these places,
Yeah, sure.
But the bartender was super nice. It was so cold that day that all they could serve was beer and liquor because their soda lines were froze.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she kept telling people, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for my boss to show up with 2 liters.
Wow.
It's a hick ass bar.
Right.
But the whole time we're sitting there, the amount of cowboy hats were walking in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know we're out by Swantucky.
Right.
But what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
Well, it turns out in downtown Toledo that same day, there was rodeo finals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And apparently all the rodeo people were coming to the Haven afterwards.
Okay, that's
so there was
interesting.
A mess of cowboy hats, dudes wearing legit spurs. It was insane.
How did they end up there? Like, there's all these bars downtown. I
have no idea.
All right, fair enough. Because I can't imagine they went there for a hotel. 2 people. Because we're talking to Jeannie started talking to this woman,
And they end up being out of Michigan, and that's how we found out that all the people from the rodeo were coming here.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's just bizarre world.
Huh.
But all these cowboy hats, but the karaoke, Brian, because we walked in and we're like, I don't know how she's going to do karaoke here. Because this does not seem like a karaoke crowd. Dude, it was hopping. There was this guy, he sang probably 4 or 5 times while we were there. We didn't stay the whole night. His name was Dwayne. He's an old guy. Worst singer I've ever heard in my life.
Nice.
He loves it, though.
Yep.
There was this dude singing American Pie. He's probably one of the drunkest people I've ever seen in my life. He fell asleep at a table. Like, he was hammered. He could barely sing American Pie.
Dude, karaoke takes a lot out of you. You know, he's just resting up.
Like, people kept going over and, like, they're, like, clapping. You can't sleep here! You know?
Right.
The place was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a great time. And granted, I think, you know, Jeannie had 2 Blitzens because they didn't really have beer that I wanted.
Yeah.
They had Blitzen on tap. Jeannie had got a couple, and she's like, it doesn't taste great. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty old, too. But I was drinking Miller Lights. I was channeling my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And I think our bill was like $15.
Nice.
But the place was insane.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know, right? I've also this week, I think that Leah's getting into roller derby.
Oh, really?
The local Glass City Rollers has a junior league.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I've been in contact with their coach.
Right.
Yeah, because, you know, she was playing basketball and she wasn't having fun because the coaches she doesn't like it. There's a bunch of shitheads on her team, so she dropped out.
Fair enough.
Which we didn't pay yet, so I was like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But she is an aggressive little girl.
Yeah.
And well, karaoke DJ Valerie, she's been doing roller derby now. She's got into it. And she was telling me about this junior league. And so I talked to Leah about it. I'm like, is this something you might be interested in? And she's like, oh, yeah, it sounds cool. I don't know how to skate, though. Well, they'll teach her how to skate. They'll do everything.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to be raising a derby girl.
Nice.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you remember the stories I told you when she was like in kindergarten playing soccer.
Yes.
Screaming you're going down and tackling people.
Yeah.
So I think she's okay for the sport.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, it's been a week. It's since you and I last did this, it's been a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
How about yourself? I feel like I've been straight up dominating the whole event here.
Yeah. I pretty much figured that was going to happen because because you were gone for all that time. Yeah.
And you stop talking and drink beer. Whew.
Yeah. I mentioned on the show last week that I started using that Sleep Cycle app that you told me about.
Yeah.
And, it's really funny because I mentioned, last week that it's showing that I sleep in like 2-hour cycles. But I was on there, I was looking up how the app works, basically, because Henno had asked me, and I was like, I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure it's microphone based only, but, and it is, essentially, it, listens for variations and tracks that or whatever. But they actually mentioned on this post that, a normal sleep cycle is actually about 90 minutes. And now the difference is I go to awake after that point. And I don't think most people do. I think most people stay asleep, but it's still a light sleep. Whereas I actually wake up. 'Cause like the quality of sleep, according to the app, my quality has been pretty close to 70% to 85%, which was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, Yeah,
that sounds all right, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, it's been really interesting because it must just be that like I can't get to sleep, and the waking up part, I don't know why I completely wake up every couple hours, but at least I'm able to get back to sleep usually after I do. So I guess as long as that continues, it's not a big deal. But yeah, so that was really interesting to me because now I've had about a week-ish, of using it.
I'm a big fan of that app
Yeah.
myself. And when you guys are talking, did you notice you can, when you're talking about the snoring, that you can actually listen to your snores?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That's weird, but
Isn't it?
Yeah. What I want to know, and like every once in a while you just have those thoughts that you're like, this is so ridiculous, but I bet someone somewhere has also had this thought, which was, I wonder if it would if it would record like your like sleep farts if they were
Oh. Yeah, maybe, right?
if they were noisy enough or whatever.
Well, I know the one time it said I was like snoring like crazy all night.
Yeah.
And normally I can tell when I snore because like my face feels weird.
Yeah.
I can tell I didn't sleep good.
Sure.
And I'm like, I don't believe this. And I listened to him, and it was the fucking dog. Because she snores like a grizzly
Yeah,
bear.
she does. Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah. Because once upon a time she used to sleep like right on my side of the bed. Now she's, now it's cold. She sleeps over by the heat vent because
Sure.
I don't blame her. But,
Yeah, right?
yeah. The old sleep cycle app.
Yeah. So, I, like I was telling Heno, I'm not going to pay for the premium part of it because I'm just not. But I would
know. I don't even know what the premium gets you, to be honest.
Yeah, I know you can look at trends and stuff like that. And I think you can do an online backup of everything when you do it. Cause I don't know how long it keeps. Like, I don't know if it keeps, a week, a month, or just a few days or whatever before it, probably clears them out.
Yeah, I've never looked into it. I probably should, just out of curiosity.
It's like $30 a year I saw though. I was like,
I do use the app pretty much every weeknight.
Yeah.
Because I like the way how it gives you a window of when you're going to wake up.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that actually might be the best part of that app.
Yes.
I will say that 100% with it each day, is that it's waking me, when it wakes me up, it's such a subtle wake up because it just progressively gets louder or whatever, and you can pick the tones it uses. And, I'll hear it and I'll kind of be like, what the hell? And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the, and it's not like that, oh God, I'm awake,
Right. Well, and I like it too because it within that selected window you pick, if you're like in a deep sleep, it'll let you sleep.
Yeah.
But if it senses you're starting to wake up, it'll be like, oh, well, we should wake him up because he's coming out of it a little bit.
Yeah, that has been nice. I'll say that. I really like that part.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Cause I've always hated that, like when you had an alarm clock and it, it wakes you up and it's just so harsh, and
yes.
Don't get me wrong. Some people need that, but like me, I don't, cause, I just need like something to kind of, something like that. Is that subtle sound. I hear it and I wake up and I'm like, what was that? Oh, it's the app. Time to get up basically or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, people listening, you may just download it and try it for that. That alone is, it's free. So, that alone is a cool option.
Yeah, I honestly don't even remember why I downloaded it originally.
Yeah.
But that's probably my favorite feature is the gradual wake up it gives you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So much better than being punched in the face.
Right. And I don't need to have an alarm clock waking me up every day. I can just get up whenever the hell I want. But I've been trying to keep consistency. Right. So I'm at least like, okay, well, it'll at least wake me up before a certain time. That way I can, if I go back to sleep, that's my own choice, but at least I can see kind of the same window of time sleeping,
Right.
Again, for science and such.
Science!
What was I gonna say here? I forgot. I didn't really do anything on New Year's either. Like there wasn't anything going on, so I played, what was I playing? Oh, Magic the Gathering on the Xbox.
Right.
That's what I was doing on New Year's Eve for most of the night, is just playing through more of that. So, yeah. But whatever. It's not a huge deal to me anymore. It's cool when you have, Like, if we were getting together, like friends getting together, I would have been all for it, but it's like, when you're not with somebody, it has less meaning, it just doesn't feel, you're just like, whatever, so that's kind of how it was. And,
right.
Plus across Christmas, I was in a real kind of blah. So it was, which I feel like I've pretty much come out of now, which is, great, because that sucks to be in those. But, that was, I'm trying to think if I've done anything this week. Nope. Yeah, I haven't really done much because it's just been so freaking cold. I mean, I went out once to the grocery store because my mom needed her insulin, so obviously you can't put that off. And,
this is true. Seems pretty, necessary.
Yeah. And, we get some stuff in the store because we're at the store. So it's like, well, while we're here, and then you get home and it's like, we have 2 cases of bottled water to bring in and various other stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, it was just, I was outside, and that's the day I texted you when I was like, I feel so bad for you, basically, because I was outside for like 15 minutes total, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. So, yeah, and then I had to go out again the next day, and, and while I was out, I went over to GameStop. Just the walk from the car into GameStop, and then from GameStop back to the car, it was unbelievable how cold you get in that like 2 minutes, Oh,
I've been wearing my goddamn X-Men superhero gear all week.
I bet, yeah.
Which I love and I hate at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, maybe if I was like Neil and a smooth bastard, it would be fine, but I'm not a smooth bastard. I'm what the kids call a bear.
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm an otter.
I don't know.
In the gay community, I'm not sure what I'm classified as. But I do know I'm a furry bastard, and that tight-fitting clothing, by the end of the day, I basically want to just dive in front of any car that's moving fast.
Yeah.
Because it gets so itchy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're right.
It keeps me warm, so whatever, right?
Right.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, that's why I said I had a couple days of that, and I was like, our one patio here needed, like, to take the snow off of it and the steps leading down to the parking lot outside. And, I started to, and I was like, it is too fucking cold for this. like,
fuck this.
Well, it's like the snow's not that deep,
Right, exactly.
Like, people can just walk over it, or they can go to the other door where it's, shoveled and there's a path.
Walk around or go fuck yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Although I can't remember I think I talked about it on the show, or I talked about it on the Crazy Life, I can't remember. I had a coupon for a free pizza, and and we went out to get it, and, it really was a terrible idea, because it was so cold, and, but, my mom was like, well, why don't you just have them deliver it? And I'm like, cause, then somebody else has got to go out in the cold and I'd feel bad. It was like when we went to the grocery store, I think Jen asked me on the Crazy Life or before the Crazy Life, she's like, why didn't you use the click list or whatever it's called, where they bring it out to your car? And right. I was like, then I'm making somebody stand outside in that frigid cold to unload my groceries, It just didn't feel right to me. So
yeah, well, it's because you're a good human, Brian.
Yeah. Stupid,
how dare you
maybe,
be a good human?
Yeah, like, not smart apparently though, because toasty warm car or standing outside, throwing stuff into the back of the car. I chose poorly.
You did choose, yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Let's see what else I has here. I mentioned a while ago I have a drawing tablet and I've been struggling with it, right?
Right.
So I actually think, and this is going to be a weird sounding explanation, but I actually think I figured out why I'm struggling with it so much.
All right.
And
lay down, my brother.
It's that, when I was in school, I drew stuff with a mouse before, right? But I use a mouse with my right hand. Even though I'm left-handed, I use my right hand for the mouse. And a lot of that was because when I can then have like right now we're doing the show. I have a pen in my hand and I have a notebook to the left of my computer and I have my hand on the mouse. So I can, move stuff around on that, and then also I can, write anything down I need to.
Because Satan.
Yeah, exactly.
You and Satan's left hand?
Right. So, and it's weird because I can still draw with the mouse in my right hand. I can't draw with the mouse in my left hand, which is weird.
Have you tried, Brian, drawing with your right hand?
Well, that's actually what I was getting at. Is I did try that the other day.
Holding an actual rodent mouse.
Okay, I haven't tried that part. Yeah, it's weird though, because I actually think the problem is that even though I'm left-handed, I can do various things like either handed or, like I throw right-handed. I can't throw worth a damn left-handed.
Well, you can. You just look ridiculous.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. It's so terrible. So I think that's kind of my problem here, is that I'm trying to draw with my left hand and it just doesn't work for me because I'm so used to looking at what I draw. And when I drew on the computer before, I was doing it with my right hand, not my left hand. And for some reason, my brain just will not, it just will not get used to it.
It does not compute.
It doesn't. It really doesn't make sense. I should be able to teach myself this thing, But I mean, I keep trying it and I just cannot get a handle on it. So I don't know. I'm really thinking I'm just going to give up on it and sell the thing. So, which, kind of sucks. What I really need is like a tablet that I can draw on, or like those Cintiq tablets, which are ungodly expensive, that you draw right on.
May I recommend something to you? Pencil and paper.
I know, but then I have to put it in the computer and redo a lot of it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm looking for efficiency.
I would just, don't computer anything.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's smart.
Boom.
I'll just I'll just draw stuff up in a sketchbook and then mail the paper to the guy to do shirts for us.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
exactly.
This is what I'm looking for. It's like, where's the digital file? You kids in your
snail
digital
mail.
Yeah. Just
snail mail to go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Start acting like I'm Ron Swanson.
Oh man, the heat just kicked on. I feel like I'm gonna have a stroke. Either out. It's some beers I've been drinking.
It's
it's hot in here.
It could be both.
Holy shit. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, I don't know. It's, like I said, it's, in my head, the reason it doesn't work makes sense. I don't know if it'll make sense to anybody else or not, but it's almost like there's certain things I just cannot seem to do with the other hand, basically. And I just think this is one of those things that my brain, like you said, is just going, nope.
Yeah,
Does not
that ain't happening.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm sorry. Were you trying to operate this? We're going to make you look like a real fool.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn you, hand.
Right. Curse you.
Curse you.
Wait.
I'll chop you off like this is Evil Dead.
I was just going to say I should chop my hand off. Maybe a robot hand or robot hand would do it for me.
Groovy.
Yeah, nice. Let's see, what else have I done? I listened to a podcast this week called The Butterfly Effect.
Right.
With John Ronson. I don't know if you know who he is or not.
Do not.
He has a book that was, what is it called? It's about like cyberbullying. It's like, so you've been socially shamed or you've been shamed on the internet, something along those lines.
I've heard that guy in a couple different podcasts,
right.
So
Me
I am
too.
familiar.
Yeah, he's a reporter, he's a writer, or whatever. Anyway, the podcast, when I first read about it, the synopsis that was given was basically he's going to talk about how, in life, things have a butterfly effect on other things.
Right.
If for some reason people listening don't know what a butterfly effect is, it's basically that one small thing, basically like rolling a snowball down a hill, it eventually becomes a giant,
Ashton Kutcher movie.
Right. Of course.
Which we all, we all got punked off the net.
Yeah.
Hot as a garbage.
Anyway, so when I start listening to the show, there's 7 episodes in the season. It's on Audible originally, and then months later it's on iTunes. It's on iTunes now. Anyway, what he did was he looked at the effect of basically Pornhub on the world. Not just on the porn industry, but how it ripples out and affects other things. Most of it is focused on the porn industry, but it's ripples out and shows, and some of it's a little, like, he's reaching a little bit on some of them. Like some of them it's like, well, there may be a probability that this had something to do with it, but you can't prove that it actually caused it type of thing. Right. But it makes sense how it could. But it was kind of an interesting show. Each one's half an hour. And, like one of the things that blew my mind partway through was he was on the set of a porn shoot and they were, and in between takes, the guys were watching, Pornhub to stay hard, basically.
But what about the broad or
exactly
dick into?
That's actually what John Ronson says. He's like, there's a woman in the room, but you're looking at porn on your phone, to keep your head in the game, basically.
That doesn't even make sense.
Right? That's the point though, is it's kind of saying that there's a lot of people that's the norm from what a couple of the people said is, so, because, a lot of it is that, various people have different things that, some like breakfast and others like other things. So,
Don't fuck around with my breakfast.
That's what I'm saying. They walk over and you're just watching like a food network thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm watching, like Bobby Flay make eggs.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is up with this guy?
Yeah. Huevos rancheros.
Oh, I just finished. Don't ever say that word.
Somebody clean Tony up.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Keep away from the Jimmy Dean channel. I subscribe to all the breakfast channels.
Yeah. Shit. But anyway, it was kind of interesting to me though. Like,
what's the podcast called again?
Called The Butterfly Effect.
I should have known that.
With John Ronson. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's a quick listen because, like I said, there's only 7 episodes and it's half an hour ish each. So
what I don't need is an hour podcast on my phone, but I'm about ready to add to my playlist.
But you can burn through this one in no time. So, and I don't know when a second season will come out. So, if a second season, and if so, I don't know what the agenda of it'll be. I don't know if it'll be, cause all the episodes,
7 episodes.
Yeah. The theme of this season is all, from like, how did Pornhub affect the rest of, originally it was just to see how Pornhub affected, the adult entertainment world. So, right. Yeah.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. And obviously there's some, that's not a safe for work gimmick. So, if you do listen to it, not you, I know you'll listen in headphones, but, other people, if you're listening, don't play it in front of the children's and stuff.
The little mutants in your household?
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite parts in it is they talk with, he talks with, people that do like custom porn or custom like fetish videos, that kind of stuff.
Oh, when people are like, hey, can you do this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that stuff is weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. So anyway, that was, and then, the last thing I have on here is, I watched the new season of Black Mirror.
Oh, nice. We've been, catching up on it.
Yeah.
And we're almost to the new season. Like
awesome.
We plowed through season 2 of Stranger Things finally.
Yeah.
And now, we're on to the, Black Mirror season 2, which we never finished, almost know that, and we're moving on to season 3 next.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And again, on that, like that show too, there's not a ton of episodes, so you get through seasons easily on that versus something that's got like 23 episodes or whatever, you know? So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it was, there's a couple episodes in this season that, there's one that I really don't like, but there's a few that have got some real good, just like a lot of the shows, even if they're not the greatest episode, there's some sort of real subtle social commentary that really kind of rings true, you know?
Right.
Which is why I love the show so much. And it's like this last few weeks I've been trying, you know, different people have, been like, oh, I heard this is good. And I'm like, okay, you're going to watch the first episode and you're going to want to turn it off, but stay with it. You know, like even if you don't like that episode.
Stick with it.
Yeah. You know, even if you don't like that one, stick with it, or realistically skip that episode if you have to, you know. I think they could have picked a better episode to be the very first episode of the show, you know. 'Cause that one, I feel like if they had thrown that in, like, you know, oh, this is episode 6 of the season, you would be a little better prepared for it. You know,
right?
'Cause then you could have already had your mind fucked by other episodes, but that one's the biggest mind fuck of any of the episodes.
Well, okay, so safe to say, obviously you've watched season 2.
Yeah.
So, the one we watched last night. Now, you know, of Black Mirror, typically every episode you're like, God, this hurts me in some way, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So the one we watched yesterday was the one where it was, I guess, spoilers.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Fair enough.
Was when the old folks in the retirement home put the little sensor on the side of their head and they're in this weird, like, you know, world.
Yeah.
Basically a virtual world.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could die, but you can live on there.
Right.
Because they downloaded consciousness into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a hard time with that episode because I'm like, this isn't very Black Mirror, because there's parts of the time you're like, oh, this is kind of cool and uplifting because they're so happy together, these two women.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but I don't know. It was a weird. Dude, I might be drinking too much.
No, you're actually. If I believe
Yes.
right, that was one of the most like criticized episodes.
Yeah, I had a hard time with that one because I'm like, because part of me was like, I get it. It is weird because I could see that happening in our future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then there's this moment where it's like the one woman was like, hey, fuck you, because you don't have no idea, because I was married and my kid died, and
yeah,
fuck you, I'm not doing this shit. And then at the end of the episode, she's like, yeah, I'm doing that shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you know what it reminds me of? Is, you know, sometimes, like, I know you'll identify with this, like sometimes in comic books, there'll be like a big event and the beginning really hooks you, the middle's pretty good, but the endings just blow. And it's just like they couldn't figure out how to end it well. And I kind of feel like that episode did that. Like, I think it started kind of interesting and the story was kind of cool along the way. And then at some point you're just like, what the hell is going on here? Why are they like, it's like, you know, it's losing you, you know?
Well, it took me a little bit to, like, get on board with the episode. Well, to be fair too, I was also ordering parts for my Jeep because it's leaking coolant. I don't want to get into it.
Fair enough. All right.
But I was ordering parts for my Jeep, so I'm like, well, now they're in the 90s. What is going on? There's things going on. There's wacky things happening here.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I see now. And you know, it was all explained at the end of the episode.
Yep. But it doesn't, like, when it's explained, it doesn't leave you with, like, some of the episodes of Black Mirror when they explain like, when you see the twist or whatever, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And you're like, wow, you know, cause it'll kind of make you take a step back. That one, when they explained it, you're just kind of like, okay, like, well, that's an answer, you know? There's an episode in season 4 that's the next to last episode that the ending to it is just going to make you go, what? Like, it's, yeah, and it's my least favorite episode of the whole series.
Oh, wow. All right, fair enough.
And I'm not alone. There's a lot of people that really don't like it.
Really?
Yeah. But, you know, whatever.
Gets one of these.
Yeah.
Since I haven't played sound effect in a while.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that after you guys get through the season. We'll talk about it a little more or something.
Right.
So, that's, Yeah, that's what I got for stuff.
Do you want to have some Last Jedi talk, my friend?
I do. Let's do it after. Let's do it at the end. Like that way if someone doesn't want to listen to it, they can just skip that part.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do you have anything else? Or one last thing real quick. I read today that there's talk that Rick and Morty's new season may not show up until 2019.
Oh, they can go fuck themselves.
Well, Mr. Poopy Butthole warned us at the end of the last season.
He did, but still.
Yeah.
That makes me very upset.
Me too.
They should all take giant pickle dick. right in their keisters.
I agree.
Yeah. Unless they're into that, then they don't get that.
Right. Right. Totally agree.
Yes. How dare they?
So, okay, yeah, that's what I got.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm, let me check my notes. Yeah, I'm good, man.
Okay. You wanna, let's do, what do you call it here? Dude Mountain, I guess. The wrap up of Dude Mountain.
Isn't that crazy that it's a wrap up of Dude Mountain?
Yeah. I figured, we'll do, we real quick do our NFL picks too. Like we usually do.
All right.
Dude Mountain.
Yeah.
Do you have that stuff pulled up? I forgot to pull it up.
Fuck yeah, I do,
Awesome.
Brian.
Awesome.
So this is the final standings of Dude Mountain.
Yep.
Coming into 13th. Just soaking in the juices
just
of
like
all the dudes.
Just like a piece of bread in a bowl of soup.
Oh man, but not even floating on top like French onion.
No.
It's like that lonely crouton at the bottom. Like, where'd the fuck this come from? Bend a knee. You're number 13, my friend.
Congratulations.
You have the, I don't know what award we have for the 13th spot.
I don't know.
I imagine it involves bukkake.
Well, you get a lot of broth. So
Lots of broth.
Yeah.
Slightly above them, holding D's nuts. You got Dr. Feelgood. You got, man, I fell from grace. I was doing strong.
Yeah.
And then I missed like a week and a half.
Yep.
Woo! That'll fuck up your world if you forget to put in your picks.
Yeah, it does.
You got me coming in at 10. You and Dev, the Broth Monster and the Salted Kings, Brian, they're tied for 8.
Nice.
So I think you guys need to, have some sort of contest to figure out who's actually the winner there.
Well, here's how I figure it works. It's our contest, so I get 8th. So moving on.
Right, so yeah, Broth Monster's at 9th. Salted Kings at 8th.
I fell a little bit from last year.
Hot. She's at 7th. A little bit. It happens, right?
Yep.
The vengeful one, our buddy Clint, who was, making his picks this time around.
I know. Look at the difference it makes.
I know, right? Jesus. Good job, Clint. You're coming in at 6th.
Yeah.
Hobie McHobeface coming at 5th. The Dogs, Fuzzy and Fatty in 4th. And then you got number 3, Mr. Jackal. This is what fascinates me. Garrett. Our friend Garrett. Buddy, homie, dude. You dominated all year round.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then you let Neil come up and kick you right in the dick.
He'll do that.
Number 1 spot.
Yep.
Because Garrett's at number 2. Our friend Neil. John Bon Tom glistens. Number 1 spot for 145 points overall.
Yeah.
Good job, Neil.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point later this year, I'll see them in Vegas and I'll high five him. Maybe we'll make sweet love.
There's no maybe about it.
Because, he won and stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's his prize. So
that is his prize. Exactly.
Tender love from you.
There's nothing tender about this.
Shh, he doesn't know that.
That's right. So there you go. That is our Dude Mountain wrap up for 2017.
All right. Well,
I can't wait till next year. We need more people.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't. You know how long it would take if we had more people?
Well, at that point, we just read
We
off.
do like top 10.
Yeah, or top 5 or I don't know, whatever. Whatever number we choose.
Our league would be called Top 10 or Go Fuck Yourself.
Yeah, that's a good league name. I like that.
So there you go. That's the end of Dude Mountain this year.
All right. Oh, stupid page having to reload. There we go. I couldn't remember one of the matchups here. All right, so the playoffs this Saturday. tomorrow.
Oh wait, we can do this. Classic NFL music. Go ahead. Matchups.
Yeah. We have the Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs all day.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons from the Dirty at the, what is it? The Los Angeles Rams now again? I always forget. Anyways, the Rams.
Well, you know how I'm going to vote on this, Brian. Because fuck Georgia. Rams.
Rams. All right.
Are you making notes of this stuff?
I'm
so we
not.
hope we win. If we're, maybe we should make notes of this stuff.
Okay. All right. Fine. Let's hear real quick. Okay. We both are taking the Chiefs. We're both taking the Rams actually too. Cause I'm taking the Rams too. Although I've got this twinge in my stomach that I should go with Atlanta, but I'm just showing solidarity, you know?
Fuck Atlanta in its face.
I hope I'm friends on Twitter with a lot of people in Georgia and Atlanta, so I hope they understand all this hatred is from Tony, not me. Okay.
God damn right it is. Got cauldron of hate.
All right. So on Sunday, we have, the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm pretty sure the Jaguars are the favorite in this game.
I'm going to go. You know what? I'm leaning towards the Bills, Brian.
Really? All right. Cool. I'm going with the
I
Jags.
got a couple of reasons. I am.
Okay.
I like the patriotic color.
Uh-huh.
I like Buffalo Bills.
All right.
That's a lock. A lock, damn it.
All right. I'm just remembering how great the locks have been in the past. All right.
For sure.
And then finally, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Nolan Saints.
I'm going Panthers.
Yeah. This is a tough one.
Saints? More like ain'ts, am I right?
The Saints have been that team this year that I don't think anybody has really talked about. But they keep winning games. Like, they won a bunch of games this year. They won like 10 or whatever games. You know?
Yeah, but you know, then you're like into John for an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, finally you wipe your ass like, oh whoa, Saints logo. Crazy.
Damn, you were throwing the hate all over the place today. Fuck it. Just to be different, I'll take the Eats.
How dare you dare to be different?
Yep. So, okay, there you go. We both take the Chiefs, both take the Rams. We split on the Yags and the Bills and the Saints and the Panthers. So there's our picks for the week.
Bills lock. Note it.
Write
it's
it
a
down.
lock.
Write it in pen. Yep.
Put your kids' college funds and your mortgage on the Bills.
I like it.
Lock.
Yep. I like it.
All right.
Oh, man. All right. So, we have anything else here? Oh, question. Cue the W. Durr.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So last week's Cue the W question that I asked everybody, and we're going to have to get Tony's answer real quick, which is, what was the best thing that happened to you in 2017?
Well, if you're asking me, Brian,
I am.
I feel like this is like inside the actor studio.
It is. Tony, tell me, what was the best thing that happened to you in 2017?
Well, Brian, besides the fact I won all my awards, I would say the best thing, and actually, Jeannie and I were unanimous in this subject.
Okay.
When we were listening to the program.
Right.
Was we were both pretty sure our best moment of 2017 was attending Heno's wedding down in lovely Jamaica.
Now, what's funny is that Heno did not pick that as the best thing for his
That is
year.
funny, but I understand his reasoning behind it.
I did too when he explained it. So yeah.
Yeah, like so. Like my reasoning is, I got to hang out with Heno. I got to meet Sharon. I got to hang out with Neil and Annalise, and I got to be in a tropical paradise. In a tuxedo.
I was just gonna say tuxedo. So yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty much a great time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we both agreed that Henno's wedding was probably our best moment of 2017.
Okay, I can dig that.
Can you dig it? Oh, I need that as a sound drop.
You really should, yeah. Although
good one.
I can't hear that without hearing Booker T, though. You know,
but it's not Booker T. It's Cyrus the Virus.
I know, but all I can hear is Booker T. And I don't want to. I'd rather hear Cyrus, but you know, that's just how it is, man. Watch the wrestling. Speaking of, I believe that Booker T.
It's one of my favorite wrestling dealers.
What?
Is when Booker T calls Hulk Hogan the N-word and then looks completely like defeated when he realizes it came out of his mouth.
Ugh. I still can't believe that.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I can't believe that he was okay with that. Mind blowing. I mean, I know that, you know, the way the guys, a lot of them look at it as, oh, I'm playing a character and stuff, but I'm still, I have a feeling if he had that one to do over, he probably wouldn't want to. Just awkward.
I don't know. I think he would want to do it over because he's just like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Do we have anything on Facebook? Did you look?
I do. Brian, we got a Jeff from, he says The Last Jedi was the best thing that happened to him in 2017.
Okay.
I think he must have enjoyed that movie.
Must have, yeah.
It's a base page. Because then Brigger, which I know you don't acknowledge.
Right.
He says, Jeannie joined Hobie. Okay, we stole her.
Yeah. Seems fair.
Does seem fair.
Mm-hmm.
So those, my friend, are what I have on the face page for Q Dubs.
It's really funny because this is an exercise in gratitude, and it's a positive thing, and we didn't get that many responses. It always makes me laugh how, you know.
It just shows you the negative trenches we roll in.
It's true. Because this should be a really easy one. You can just pick anything. We don't know any better, you know. You could be like, this sandwich I'm eating or was eating a week ago, you know, whatever.
It has some good sandwiches.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Except that almost grilled mac and cheese pulled pork.
It's a new year, Tony. We're not thinking about that.
Hey, Knoxville, go fuck yourself.
Over on the tweets, at Witty Sassbasket says, oddly enough, she's from Atlanta. For every time I fell down, I got up again. I learned that I am far stronger than I give myself credit for, which is a good.
You should leave Atlanta.
I'll tell her you said that. I'm sure she'll probably come up here and set you on fire.
Yes.
Not
it's
now.
So cold, that'd be warm.
I was going to say not now, but when it warms up.
I was like, I love a good fire, actually.
Yeah. At Super Apple 80 said, overcame my addictions to Adderall, benzos, cigarettes, and toxic relationships. Excellent
work, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Madam.
Yeah. Madam, miss, whatever.
Lady.
Yeah. And at Sandbell11 said, finding out that biscuits and gravy are not actually cookies and gravy, and it's delicious. Obviously, she's not from America, so.
Cookies and gravy.
Yeah, she's lives in England.
But cookies and gravy.
Well,
Brian.
Biscuits over there, cookies.
I understand, but I'm thinking this might be delicious.
Oh, okay, I see. You're not making
Sweet,
fun of her. You're thinking this is a great
savory.
You might be right.
Dude, it's like little chocolate chips. We have a big old mug of like beef gravy.
Well,
I'm gonna get a little Dunkaroo action going here.
Okay, here's why I think you're right. Is the idea of biscotti and coffee.
Okay, yes.
You know, because you've got the crunchy biscotti and it's, you know, usually they're not super sweet or anything, but you know, and then you've got the bitter coffee. So, you know, there's a pairing there. So I think you might be right, you know.
We don't know until we try it.
Now, here's the best part is that we're going to open a boy, I can't talk. We're going to open a coffee shop, but we're also going to have biscuits and gravy. And we're just going to like pour gravy into a coffee mug and, you know, here you go.
And then serve it with cookies on the side.
Yep. People think it'll be a fun gag for everyone to get their friends on. They'll be like, wow, this coffee looks really thick and beefy.
Like, I'll take an order of biscuits and gravy and just be like, beef or chicken. Like, what?
What? Or mushroom, you know.
I guess for those vegetarians out there.
Mm-hmm.
Those weirdos.
Those people, yeah. Man. Boy, that would be something, though, if you truly thought that biscuits and gravy was that, and then to find out how delicious it is.
Well, I mean, first of all, biscuits and gravy is actually my go-to meal.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's one of my
Like
favorite things.
when it's birthday meal, I go, Jeannie, biscuits and gravy. She's like, okay, and she makes a mean biscuit and gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll want to punch your mom in the face, biscuit and gravy.
Fair.
Man, I kind of want some right now.
I know, I do too.
God damn it. So good. So good.
At Besotted,
Gotta get away from biscuits and gravy.
I'm working on it. At Besotted Geek Pod, says winning the, History of Bad Ideas, floppy for Canadian of the Year. I lead a sad existence. Yeah.
No, you'll have that.
Yeah, if anything from Hobie is your highlight of your year, I'm really sorry you had such a bad year. No, I kid.
Zing.
That,
show.
I'm looking for anything else. That is all I see. So, which makes me sad.
I gotta hurry up my drinking, Brian.
Yeah?
I got one more beer on deck. We're almost at the end.
Yeah, you're right. I'm doing a quick scroll down the...
No, don't be quick. I gotta drink this.
Sorry,
God damn it.
Taking my sweet time scrolling down the notifications.
Sweet podcast for 6 hours.
Well, we're almost there. All right, that's all I see for the Q of the W.
That's bullshit.
You got a sound drop for me?
Oh.
Come on.
Whoa. That was super low. There we go.
Good job.
Boom.
Yeah, it is really, really low.
All right. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like some jerk off was running the soundboard over.
Yeah, probably was.
Oh, yeah. Fucking right.
You son of a... All right, so the Q of the W for this week is another one where, because we're around the beginning of the year, Tony and I are not resolutions kind of people. At least I don't believe so, right? You don't do those either, right?
Oh.
Didn't think so.
Yeah, I think it's a dumb... ooh, it's a new calendar year. I'm going to change everything. No, you're not.
Yeah. Well, and also, I'm very much the why wait another week or what? It's like just start now, so it's whatever. Plus to me,
it's a square on a piece of paper. Does that really matter?
You're right. Yeah. Well, and I've always kind of seen it as like the idea of calling what you're doing in life, like I'm going on a diet. It's like kind of sets you up for failure, I think, So
I agree.
But, and I saw this on Instagram and I really kind of like this, which is, what's your one word mantra for 2018? Like what, I told Tony the example I gave was on the Crazy Life last year. Heno said action was his word. And through the year, he tried to be more active in things that he was, interested in. So, and looking back, right. We've talked about this already, me and him anyway, that it looks like he, did a good job of the, living up to that word. So that's kind of what I'm getting at in case people don't understand. So
that's fair.
There you
go. Well, I think my word of 2018 is going to be change, Brian.
Yeah.
Change.
Can you start using Coinstar?
Yeah, because, oh, fuck yeah, I will. Dude, I actually have a lot of because you know why? Because I hate change.
Yeah.
So I get home and I empty my pockets into a change thing because I can't stand change in my pockets.
Yeah.
Anywho, no, because it's like I've been driving as a person for like a decade.
Yeah.
Right. And I realized it's like, it's not a safe profession, man.
Yeah, there's that.
So in theory, yeah, exactly. So like my lovely wife is due, cause she's all licensed and an official and actually use her education, which is awesome.
Right.
So she's in line for like a decent raise to the point that I might be able to like go to a more of a party. And actually, she's like, you've been working since you've been 15.
Yeah.
She's like, wouldn't it be great if you had time off to actually figure out what you want to do?
Yeah, right. Although, as a person who's had time, no.
That's fair. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But there's a chance though that I might be able to like take a step back from working crazy hours and figure some shit out and maybe, change some things.
Right. Finally take tap dancing.
Because I've come to realize that like the vehicle I'm in, when I used to, God, I feel like a dude, I've been drinking too much. That's all right. Let's ramble, motherfuckers. Is I used to like look at it as a vehicle to like, I'm just here to make cash to keep the fucking lights on, right?
Right.
I've realized it's more of a cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sucks because unfortunately the company I work for, they don't really promote from within.
Yeah.
Which is a problem because, dude, I can't do what I'm doing forever.
No. Yeah, that's true. You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No. And I told them a while ago, I'm like, hey, if you ever have an opening for like a sales spot, let me know because I'm rambling, but they hired a salesman, man. They don't look at people within their company. It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
All right. Change. That's my word.
Right.
I'm just gonna drink this sour beer. Listen to you.
Fair enough.
Before I get all crazy over here.
That's fair, my friend. That's fair. I think mine is very similar to it's funny because I actually think I want this year to be my word is pretty much going to be Henno's from last year, which is action. Cause I got to make some movement in life. I'm standing still. I got to figure something out with various things. And at some point I have to just point myself a direction and start moving that way. Like if it's not the right way, I can adjust, but at some point, right. I have to just get going. So that's going to be mine too, is action, and to try to not let fear rule it.
I love to hear that though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Cause it is. I'm tired of a lot of stuff that is just kind of, that I've fallen into and it's my fault. I'm not blaming anybody else. It's just things I've fallen into. Fear has taken more control over me at times. I need to put an end to it.
Let's kick fear.
Wait, what?
Right?
It broke up.
Oh, I had a moment. I said, let's. Well, actually, I really didn't. I was just making a dick joke. I said, let's kick fear in its tiny little dick.
All right. I'm in agreement with you on that. So, all right. You gotta.
Right?
Yeah. So that's.
Because, I mean, if I'm being honest over here, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
That's always held me back too, right?
Yeah.
It's because I'm like, I heard it on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
And it's something I do, but I called Eat Shit Cash Checks. And that's what I feel like I've been doing for a while now.
Right, I can understand that, yeah.
My career is I just go, you know what? But I'm going to take it because I got to keep the lights on.
Yep. Yeah, it's understandable. That's really what a lot of people do. They keep doing something they don't feel as rewarding. I don't want to say, a job they love or anything like that, because that's there's always going to be things you hate about what you do. So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But
I mean, I don't know. It's. There's got to be more to, dude. I'm having a hard time braining here, Brian.
Fair enough.
What I'm trying to say is that we shouldn't let the fear rule our lives, right?
I agree. Yep.
Right. And, yeah, we got it. All right, we should probably stop.
All right, well.
Or we continue.
So the Q of the W for this week again is, what is your one-word mantra for 2018? Or whatever you want to call it. Just your one word, that you're going to...
Like, if you're gonna have an XFL jersey, what's your name? He hate me? No. Change. Action.
Show me what you got.
Slow.
I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Fuck fear, right in its little face.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's always my thing. I'm always like, I should be like, find a job somewhere else and go fuck yourself, peoples. But I'm like, oh God, what if I need to make the money to keep the bills on, whatever.
Right.
I feel like my dog realizes I'm freaking out, and she just came and nuzzled me.
Yeah, that seems fair.
I know, right?
She's like, quit being stupid, human.
Basically. So what? So do you have a plan of action then for 2018? That's
the next step. Is that's kind of where I've been for the last few months, and I've been kind of thinking of stuff lately to, try to get moving. Because I also understand it's going to be baby steps. I'm not going to just all of a sudden, conquer all my fears and go do all the things. So it's, I got to figure out what's going to be my first move, I think. So, but I also don't want to spend a bunch of time thinking on it. I have a habit of doing that, and I'll obsess about making the right decision, and then eventually I'm like, wow, I should have already done something by now.
So you're like, I completely understand. You're like, let me ponder on this. And then 6 months later.
Yeah, basically.
Oh shit, it's May.
Yeah. If I had just picked something, I would have had an answer by now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I understand it completely.
It is. Henno and I talk about it all the time on The Crazy Life. It's, like progress over, perfection.
Right.
Or getting,
Yeah. Baby steps, man. Like you said, baby steps.
Right.
I like the progress over perfection, because that's something that plagues me, because I'm like, fuck that. If I can't do it exactly how my brain envisions it, I'm not doing it.
Yep.
And I had to have this talk with my lovely daughter, because she came out and she's like, she showed me her sketchbook. I kind of want to punch her in the face today, but that's a different thing. She's been so annoying today. I love her, but she's like, hey, exactly. This is how I'm talking. Hey, do you want to see my sketchbook? And I'm like, sure. And it was an eyeball she drew, and it looked really good. I'm like, that's an awesome eye, Leah. Good job. And she's like, I think it sucks. And all I could say was, welcome to being an artist.
You're not wrong.
Because you will be forever your own worst critic.
Yeah, you're totally true. Right, But then she said, but then she's like, but I looked at the very first thing I drew in the sketchbook, and it's really terrible, and I know I'm way better. So at least she recognizes that. Right. Yeah, with practice comes growth.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But I love the whole, it was a good eye for her, especially. It was a really good looking eye.
Right.
And I've told her many times that she's very and she's extremely artistic. I almost said autistic.
That would have been no good.
She's extremely artistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's slightly autistic too.
Right.
But that's why she's gonna be roller derping. Derberin.
Boy, you're a mess, my friend.
Dude, I still have a pint of beer in front of me. Let's go.
Well, let's wrap this. We'll wrap this part of it up, and then we'll start talking Star Wars. Then I'll let you ramble about Star Wars.
All right, good game.
All right, so as usual, head over to saltylanguage.com. Check all the links out. You can get past episodes or like our enthusiast interviews, which are a lot of fun to listen to. I think you can see.
They better be.
Yeah. You can see the networks we're part of, like Tangent Bound Network. We're on the Geek Life Radio playlist. And Danger! Watch your back! Danger! Entertainment. So go check out those.
Mark, we're coming to Cleveland, motherfucker.
I like it. Go take
He
it over.
keeps harassing me on Facebook that we need to come visit him, which is fine.
Yeah.
I understand.
Mhm.
He wants to hang out with the big dogs.
Right.
I get it. But
Yeah. That's funny. Oh, man. So all of our social media links are over on the website also. If you want to contact the show, the best way is at salty_language on Twitter. You can find me at Stunami.
you can find me at Monotony, but honestly, I've realized I'm just not a Twitter fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my jam, man.
Right. I understand.
It's there. I'm on there.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll at me, I will look at it at some point.
Right. It's kind of like me and Facebook, It's just, if people keep trying to add me and I'm just like, I don't use this. It's not worth it. I only promote the podcast pretty much. That's about all I do with it. So, yeah.
But I mean, if you really want to chat with me, I'm very active on Snapchat now. Salty_language.
Yeah. I'm at Ninjitsu. I am to Snapchat what Tony is to Twitter.
Yes.
Except
exactly.
I like Snapchat. I just don't use it much.
Right.
So, yeah.
And of course we're Salty Language on Instagram, which I've been, just face fucking the internet with.
You really have, yeah.
Take it, internet.
Oh my. Nice. So yeah, that's all the links on. Oh, if you want to help the show out, there's a Patreon link on our website. That'll take you to patreon.com, and you can pledge monies to help us out if you'd like to, or you can do a one-time payment and then cancel afterwards. Kind of whatever you want donation wise, and we appreciate anything anybody does. If you
know what I had a daydream about the other day, Brian?
Nope.
I had a daydream about, because Gene and I have tiny houses.
Yeah.
Because we're still geese.
Mm-hmm.
And all I want to do is those trailer tiny houses?
Yeah.
I want to get one of those, but I want to make a portable podcast studio.
I like this idea a lot. That would be interesting.
How cool is that idea? And I realize, I'm like, there's no money in this unless I charge people to use it. So it's a gigantic waste of money.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But how cool would it be to be able to hook it up to a truck and be like, I don't know, name something. We're going to Beer Fest.
Yeah, there you go.
And we're bringing our fucking studio with us.
Yeah.
And our dicks are out.
Whoa.
We're recording.
Wait,
Do it.
We probably shouldn't do the dicks out part. We may get arrested.
Dude, it's in the privacy of the studio.
Oh, okay, that's different. I didn't realize it. Yeah, we'll charge admission. Yeah.
Right?
It'll be
But yeah, I thought that would be awesome, because my one hang up with my wife's tiny house obsession is I need a place to record my shit.
Yeah.
So if I make a studio, I can be hooked to a truck.
So you'll have two tiny houses then, essentially.
Tiny house, tiny studio.
Yeah. Okay.
But big enough to have guests inside.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Right. How cool would that be, though?
Yeah. Very. Rather than just taking
Carry
stuff
on.
in
I'm
a
sorry.
backpack.
Interrupt.
So no, it's fine.
Right? Exactly. Having a backpack and we're throwing cords around like dicks.
Yeah.
Be like, step into my studio. Don't mind my penis. It's out. Because we're in the studio.
Right, of course. Right. There's a sign outside.
Yeah. If you once you bypass these doors, all hope is lost because
Right.
dick's out.
Right. This is a Dicks Out studio.
Dude, that'd be a great name for a studio ever. Dick's Out production.
Yeah. Just Dick is the first name or whatever, and just Sout is the last name, so it looks like a person's name. Of course.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hi,
For
Dick
sure. All right, I'm sorry. Carry on. What were you doing?
right.
You were promoting shit.
Yeah, I was promoting shit. If you're going to be shopping on Amazon,
We're jamming.
please swing by our website and click on the Amazon link. It'll take you to Amazon. It'll take you to Amazon, and then you just shop away as normal. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and they chip off a little taste for us.
Dude, we gotta Little beaks.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
And then, if you're using iTunes, please rate, review, and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can find us over on Spotify now. The link's in the show notes.
Yeah.
And, so if you want to listen to us over there instead of downloading, and you can just stream us over there. Or, it's a great way to maybe tell your friends about us. So they
you know what's cool about that?
Yeah.
Is we all know the Apple podcast app sucks.
Yeah, it certainly does.
So if you're like, fuck you, Apple, but you're like, I love Spotify because like Maroon 5 is my jam.
Mm-hmm,
you can find us, man.
Yep. Just search Salty
You don't have to
Language.
download an additional app. You just search Salty Language and you, boom.
Yep.
Our sexy voices in your ear hole.
Mm-hmm. In no time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No time. It's amazing.
Also check out, my other podcast over there. The Crazy Life is on Spotify also if you'd like to give that a listen.
Excellent. Less dick jokes.
Yeah.
More like emotional learning.
Yep.
Big fan.
So yeah, there's those. If you're using like Stitcher or Spotify or the other non-iTunes apps, please use the like or share options to help get the word out there for us. Be our street team.
Goddamn right. What?
Yep. And then also, maybe, share our posts, like with the show links and such from Twitter or Facebook. We would greatly appreciate it.
Please.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Is it though?
Yeah. So, we're going to talk Star Wars, Last Jedi. If you want to stick around for that, please do. If you don't, then, I guess have a beer, you'll be fine.
I'm just going to go stay salty because I'm not feeling creative.
Yeah, that seems.
Or am I? Because change. 2019, bitches. Let's do this.
Oh, man. And stay out of the Snowicanes.
Oh, God. What? Brian, Snowicanes. They bring you hard nipples and then grotesque death.
Yeah. One of those things is good. The other is not so good.
No, exactly. Well, it depends on the person.
Yeah, true enough. Grotesque death would be something I'd wish on some people.
Oh, my God. You're so right.
All right, let's talk some Star Wars Last Jedi.
Do it.
Before we do, even though we've already, we assume you figure there's spoilers here, this be a spoiler zone, so, be warned.
Oh, my fucking app just crashed. I was going to play a cool sound effect.
No, you weren't. Don't worry.
There we go. Star Wars time, motherfuckers.
I don't know why, but I expected it to not be Star Wars related.
Was it something like this?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
It's the news today.
All right, enough of that garbage. All right, so so why don't you told me you had some like issues with the movie and stuff.
All right, it's been a few weeks since I watched it,
mm-hmm.
and I'm in a haze of hops and barley.
You certainly are. I can't even talk.
Certainly am.
Certainly am.
I should ingest some more real quick. Hold on.
You should. Yeah, it's a great idea. I just told you to have a beer, you'd be fine. So,
dude, it's so good.
Yeah, you're just listening. That's all.
I'm currently drinking Flowed. It's a nice raspberry sour. It's delicious.
All right.
Anywho, okay. So one of the issues I have with this goddamn movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
Overall, I did enjoy the movie.
Right. So did I.
Yeah. All right. So one of my problems I had was when they're like, "Hey, we got to go to Planet Vegas to get the code breaker."
Right.
Why?
Do you
like Planet Vegas could have been its own thing?
Yeah.
And they're controlling these weird cat horses, and not even controlling. They're like, "Hey, good job, cat horse," and the horse is like, it goes running off in the woods.
Right.
You can't talk to the cat horse because you're nice to it. What about when they popped out of the sewer and they're like, "That stunk"? Show me what happened in the sewer.
Right. Yeah.
And there's the weird kid of the force powers. Fuck you, Tiny Tim.
Well, I've read about that a little bit, which is that's basically supposed to show us that being force sensitive, like someone who's sensitive to the force, can come from anywhere. That it's not specifically just the Skywalker lineage.
Oh, that's a reach.
Well, I mean, there's not going to be Skywalkers going forward, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Skywalkers have completely fucked the galaxy.
They really have.
Yeah, they're really the bane of everybody.
They really are. Yeah.
Like, a reservation for 3. Oh, Skywalker. Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's push these guys. Yes.
Yeah. Do you need us to put silverware on the other side? Because the hand thing?
Yeah, fuck your hand.
Yeah, fuck your hand.
Nice glove, Dick. But, I don't know. I mean, that annoyed the shit out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That
Right?
was a big scene for not really a good enough payoff.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, cool. It's becoming... at first I was like, well, one, they're being pursued by the feet of death.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, we're going to sneak out and go find this codebreaker dude, which I thought was kind of... I was just annoyed by the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they go to this weird party planet where there's like weird aliens like making it rain and they're throwing dice and it's like the whole thing felt weird to me.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, weird. They have these weird cat racing and now they're going to stampede. I don't know. I didn't like the whole scene at all. It bugged me.
I feel like you had some real issues with cat racing.
Yeah, the cat racing could go suck a dick.
It was no chocobo racing, that's for sure.
No, not at all. And then they're being pursued by like spaceships and they're hiding in the weeds. It's like, this is the future. They can, you can't tell me you don't have the technology to see them in the weeds.
Nope. When you're in the weeds, completely oblivious.
It was all weird to me.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Right. I agree with you though about the planet thing. Just to basically, the only 2 points I saw from that were carryover are the showing that, someone with the Force can come from anywhere, and a way to just introduce Benicio del Toro's character. Yeah,
right.
That's really it. Other than that, it's like, what the hell did I just watch all this cat racing for?
Yes, and I did enjoy Benicio del Toro's character because I thought he kind of brought his own little like Benicio del Toro self to it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it was basically the guy from The Usual Suspects in space.
You're right. It was, yeah. Oh, shit. I didn't think about that.
But whatever.
Right.
I mean, it was still kind of cool.
Sure. Yep.
I mean, yeah, he's a cunt. He sold him out. Whatever.
Right.
But, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I wasn't really expecting Snoke to die like he died.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I know a lot of people had issues with that. We really don't get, we don't find out who he was or anything. There's not some like previous, important character or whatever. He's just, he's just Snoke and now he's, 2 Snokes. So
exactly. Yeah. Although I did dig the robe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good robe.
Yeah,
I'd wear that.
It's no Ric Flair robe, but it's pretty good.
No, not at all. Right. Exactly. Yeah. But, and I kind of like the way they, because he was like, oh yeah, I sense him fucking grabbing lightsabers and shit. And I was like, I like the way they did that.
Yeah.
And he's like, he didn't whatever. I don't know. I enjoyed the movie. I did. But, I definitely had my biggest issue was probably Planet Vegas. I'll be honest.
That seems to be, from what I've read, that seems to be most people's really, like, their biggest hang up. There's a bunch of other stuff too. A lot of it really is nitpicking,
right.
But at the same, like, a lot of people also had problems with, Princess Leia, General Leia, just flying through space.
Well, the Force.
Yeah.
She's technically a Skywalker. She's got that, I get it.
Yeah, she's Force sensitive, right?
She's Force sensitive, so she was like, fuck you, Force. But I mean, I did find it a little odd that since spoiler alert, in real life she's dead, guys. That they kept her alive.
Yeah, because I read that Disney said they weren't going to use any footage or anything of her in the new one, like the next one.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're going to do.
And she's very much alive at the end of this one. The only
super alive.
Only thing I can think of would be that they could do an establishing shot of like those ships maybe haven't quite made it to that planet yet, and theirs still gets shot or something to that effect. or
I don't know what they're going to do.
crashes on, coming through. Because otherwise, I don't know how you don't show her.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. So
I wasn't a fan of Luke like becoming the Force at the end. I don't know if he was like, oh, I'm so exhausted from projecting myself across the universe. I'm dead. I don't know what happened there, because I was fully expecting to have like Luke tear fucking shit up as a Jedi Grand Master.
yeah.
I was looking forward to that.
Right.
Did not happen.
Yeah, I think everybody was kind of hoping that he was going to have that, don't call it a comeback moment.
Yeah. I mean, I did like the shenanigans he pulled.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed the one soldier that tasted the planet. That was cool.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking hardcore.
Right.
Salt. Who eats a planet?
Right.
If you're not galactic, don't eat the planet, you cunt.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That was weird, but I'm with you though. I thought it was funny. There was a few callbacks.
Have you ever decided to eat the planet, Brian?
No.
You're like, I'm just going to taste the Earth to see what it tastes like.
Right. Not by my choice, anyway. I mean, maybe
that guy's ridiculous. I hope that one trained trooper shot that guy in the face.
I actually hope that people fear him. Because
he ate the planet.
Yeah, because they're like, that dude's a badass. Like, I am not fucking with him.
Right.
Because who tastes a foreign planet?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mm.
But no, I enjoyed, back to Luke. I enjoyed the shenanigans he pulled.
Yeah.
I do believe that, once upon a time, we gave movies the Channing Tatum scale, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we should switch it to the shredded Kylo scale. Because shirtless Kylo is like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah. No, right? Especially with those high-waisted trousers. I mean.
Oh, man. Good Lord, up to his nips. What is he doing?
Well, he was going out to a party. He was going to put his mesh shirt on.
I guess, right?
Yeah, it was interesting.
And I did kind of like how like him and Ray are like connected in some bizarre way and are chatting with each other. He's like, hey, I'm on the can. Can you leave me alone right now?
Right.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was kind of cool. And then, cause she broke it the last time I'm curious to see if that carries over or if it's just completely, snapped now that, Snoke's dead or dead air quotes. And, cause there's been a bunch of people online that are like, oh, he's probably not dead. He's probably this. I'm like, he's probably dead. I really think he was a throwaway character.
Are they just saying that because people are saying that because Darth Maul got cut in half and then he's still alive in the canon because he's too angry.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, actually he becomes pretty.
He's one of the cooler villains they ever made.
Yeah. He becomes kind of a badass after, living through getting cut in half. So that's pretty cool.
He was a badass.
Yeah, but then he had cool robot legs. So
I mean, the prequels are awful. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Darth Maul was pretty great.
Yeah, for the 2 minutes he was alive. Yeah.
Right?
Or in those movies he was alive,
Yeah.
It's what's funny is because, just like in comic books or, like soap operas, basically, it's like if you don't see a body, they ain't dead, basically,
Exactly. Just because he got cut in half and fell down a shaft.
Yeah.
Don't mean he's dead.
Well, it's kind of like Phasma. I saw something online where somebody was bitching about Phasma, and I'm like, she got a pretty awesome part in this one. And just because she fell down a hole doesn't mean she's dead,
I am a little disappointed by the Phasma.
Yeah.
Because, okay, Force Awakens, I was like, that crazy chrome bitch is the shit, and I want to see more from her. And then something weird happened.
Right, she went into a trash compactor.
Yeah, basically. So Last Jedi shows up, and I'm like, oh, shit, that crazy bitch is back. And then she gets her ass kicked, and then falls into like a fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like the leader of the First Order's troops.
Yeah.
You would think that there would be cooler things happening around her besides getting her ass kicked.
Yeah, she's way more of a beast on Game of Thrones for sure.
What?
It's the woman that plays that. I can't think of the character on Game of Thrones. That's that.
Brianna?
Yeah.
The big blonde broad?
Yep. That's who.
That's Captain Phasma?
Yeah. Yeah, that's who Phasma is.
Man.
Yep.
Oh, but she loves Jamie Lannister. Oh, dorms.
Oh, man. Yeah, I get what you're saying, though. Because, you know, I thought it was kind of a cool start and everything. But, yeah, Finn kicks her ass pretty quick and easily.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, sweet, we're going to finally see Captain Phasma do some shit. Oh, she's in a fire.
Yeah.
Oh, her visor's busted and she's in a fire.
Yeah, yeah. She gets...
Captain Phasma, you suck.
I mean, like you're just doing a take on The Critic.
Exactly.
It stinks.
It stinks. Sweet chrome armor, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else bugged me about the movie.
Yeah.
I shouldn't focus on what bugged me. I should focus on what I liked, right?
Really, yeah. 'Cause like I've said the last couple weeks, you know, it's like I see Star Wars, the franchise, as like a popcorn movie. I just kind of go in and just enjoy what's put in front of me. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Oh, one of the things I read is like a huge issue with a lot of people is the bombing run at the beginning.
Right.
Because that isn't how gravity works. And, you know, they should have gotten that right. But
science.
Yeah. What are you going to do? So,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it was a galaxy far, far away, and it was a long, long time ago. So,
Brian, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
As a dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So once they're on the run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their shit's getting blown up and whatever, and they're on the run, and that whatever her name is in the purple that takes over.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, Leah's like fucked up. I'll take over because I got purple hair and shit.
Right.
Older lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oddly hot? Yes or no?
A little bit. Yeah.
Little bit, right?
Yeah.
I was like, woo. Odd asteroid strike.
She can run a ship right up my... Wait a minute.
and the whole, like, I'm going to come about and fucking go to hyperdrive through your face. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
When that happened in the theater, there was some kid way in the back that was like, oh! It was great.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think, you know, I don't think most people saw that coming, you know?
Right.
And I read something online where there's been nitpicking about that too, about how precise you would have to be to do that.
Oh, fuck off.
Exactly.
Like it's a popcorn.
Yeah.
Brian, Star Wars is a popcorn movie.
I understand.
Star Wars is for us to enjoy.
Yep.
It's not a documentary, you fucks.
The other thing I think is funny is it's like, so you're okay with the whole idea of hyperspace, which does not exist currently, or may exist but hasn't been proven by current science, you know. But
if you want to see something about Star Wars, watch Because Science. It's a Nerdist YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he talks about lightsabers on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And talks about how a lightsaber that could just cut through metal like it does in like the prequels.
Yeah.
When you ignite it, it would to do that. It would be so hot when you ignite it. Everybody in the room would immediately burst into flames.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how death by lightsaber is the worst thing ever, I think it's called.
Good shit.
It's science fantasy. It's like if you took Dungeons and Dragons and mixed it with Star Trek, you have Star Wars.
Yeah, I get you.
I probably just pissed a bunch of people off.
Probably, yeah.
Fuck
Whatever
you.
the purple-haired character, I can't remember her name either, but I did think it was really stupid when Poe was like, so what's the plan? And she's like, it's on a need-to-know basis. And I'm like, but he's kind of like the leader of your flyers? Like, you know. Although I read one thing on Reddit that said that they think that it was because she was afraid of word getting to the First Order or whatever, you know, of the plan, basically. Like if there was a mole in there or something. I was like, okay, maybe, but I think it was just shitty writing.
Fair enough.
They
were just trying to make conflict where it really didn't.
There really was, because they put conflict between him and her, which was weird because of how quickly after that she's eaten the dashboard. So
Right.
it's like, I don't know. That was kind of weird to me because like they didn't really need for them to have a conflict, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Also, why is the First Order once they're like, oh, we got you guys because the Codebreaker likes money and we paid him off and fuck you, and they're gonna execute Poe and the Asian broad, whatever.
No,
it
not
is.
Poe. Finn and Rose.
That's right, Finn and Rose.
Yeah.
And they have like laser axes.
Yeah.
Like, is this the future? Shoot them in the face. Fire them into space. What do you do? Why is this the beginning of Skyrim?
Right. What it is, they're like, all right, you've been sentenced to execution. Like, we're gonna take you to Casino Planet and have you torn apart by cats. Yeah,
exactly. We'll go up to deck 7 where we have our space guillotine. Like, what?
Like, you have lasers.
Just fucking shoot them,
Yeah. Because
I didn't quite get
it really was funny too, because when whoever gave the order to execute him, it was like, this should be quick and clean. Like, this should be pew pew and it's over.
yeah, exactly. There should be no laser axe.
No.
There should be whatever.
No,
although I did enjoy.
This should be like a mob style deal. 2 in the back of the head and you fall forward into your grave.
Exactly. And then they like shoot you out into space. No one's easy again.
Yep.
Never knew. Hey, didn't hear anything with him, right?
Yep.
I did enjoy BB-8 driving the AT-ST. That was cool.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
I did enjoy on Planet Eatery, Salt Planet. I like the new version of the AT-ATs.
Those
looks like they got like sick ass beards almost.
Did you notice the armor on their legs too?
Yeah, those things are fucking metal.
That way, a snow speeder can't wrap them in a cord anymore. They upgraded.
I didn't think of that. They learned.
That's pretty
improve, improvise, adapt.
Because I saw the different things on their legs, and I looked it up after I got home from the movie, and I was like, show enough, they did, because there was a still of it, and somebody, they made a comment. They're like, you can't trip them with a wire anymore, basically.
Well, you got to realize what those engineers. Well, all the engineers probably died.
Well, think of how shitty. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to be a surviving engineer after the Death Star, the AT-ATs.
Yeah, for sure. The other Death Star.
Yeah, I mean, they just shat the bed all the time. So
yeah, can you imagine that? Be like, I designed a sick ass walking tank. It looks like a big fucking bear.
Yeah,
I was like, that's cool. It shoots lasers from its face. We're invading.
Yeah.
Oh, they used a rope and tripped it. Like some asshole lightsabered its belly open and threw a grenade in it and the whole thing blew up.
Yeah.
This thing is flawed.
Slightly.
Right.
Yeah. Beta testing. How's the beta testing on the AT-ATs going?
On the snow planet, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Now, I enjoyed the fact that last week you and Henna brought up the fact that on the porgs, that everyone's like, oh, I love porgs, or everybody's like, oh, fuck porgs in the face.
Right.
That it was the whole reason they did the porgs is because the puffins on the island were already filmed, right?
Yeah. I
was going to bring that up. You guys beat me to it, which is fine.
I actually didn't know that, so that was that. When
I know
Henna
I heard Henna talk about. I was like, son of a bitch, he stole a story from me. God damn it. But Brian.
Yeah.
So I can only assume that when they filmed Return of Jedi, that the forest they filmed in was full of midgets, and they had the CGI Ewoks on them. Right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's hope.
I don't know.
There's just no excuse for him. Yeah.
That was a reach. I'm going to pull my hood up and hide.
Good call.
But yeah, I don't know. Last Jedi I enjoyed.
Well, here's something I found hilarious, which
not
was
as much as I don't think I enjoyed it as much as. Go ahead.
In The Force Awakens, everybody bitched, or not everybody, but a lot of people bitched because it was too similar to like A New Hope or older Star Wars movies, right?
Right.
This one, people are bitching because it's not enough like Star Wars movies. It doesn't follow all the tropes. It actually shits on a lot of the tropes of Star Wars past.
How is it not like a Star Wars movie? It's got, of course, it's got AT-ATs, it's got Star Destroyers.
Well, because at the end of this movie, it's kind of there's not a definitive line, kind of the way that there was in the past ones. You know, they kind of leave this one with Rey is still a little about things, even though she helps him at the end, and Kylo is still.
She moved like 8,000 rocks.
I know, but you know, it's they both lost their. You know, both of the characters lost their mess. There's a whole mess of things that apparently don't fit. Apparently, I don't know, whatever. And Rian Johnson, the director of it, pretty much just thumbed his nose whenever people are like, you know, like, well, we need to know who Rey's parents are. And he was just like, nah, you don't. It's not important. And people were like, you know, cause he wouldn't give that to him.
I think it's great. Fuck you.
Who cares?
I'm glad she's not part of the sky. They fucked up the galaxy. If she was like, oh, she's the long lost sister of Kylo, and you know, Han fucking blew a load in some horde on this planet,
right?
And now whatever. I guess it wouldn't be Han because he's not a Skywalker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm glad she's not part of the whole lineage.
Yeah. Well,
as far as we know,
I really and truly think the overall theme of this movie, and I read an article that kind of says this yesterday too, which is, I think the whole point of this movie is transition. It's moving away from the Skywalker saga into the new Star Wars universe that they'll keep making movies in that won't be influenced by Skywalkers because they're all gone, you know?
Here's hoping, right?
Yeah. I mean, spoilers, Leia will be dead, so... or gone.
Oh, she better be.
I don't know what they're doing, but anyway. But you know, they have
Luke's
to trade
part
it.
of the Force now, right?
Right. I mean, I figure he'll show up in the next one. You know
how annoyed I'll be if they bring in Hayden Christensen. Hey guys, I'm Anakin. I'm here to guide you. I'll be like, oh God, you're terrible. Why don't you cut another pair, you dick?
Like, nobody likes you. Go away.
Yeah, you're awful.
But yeah, I figure Luke will show up as, you know, the Force protection.
Some sort of weird specter.
Yeah.
Now, I know Disney was like, hey, fuck all this shit that came out earlier. Mm-hmm. But I really wish, because in ye old Dark Horse comics,
yeah,
we're going super long this show, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we really are.
Luke was like, he joined the dark side.
Yeah.
You know, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Whenever everyone's like, oh my God, we need Luke Skywalker. And he shows up, he's like, fuck you, dark side bitch. And then like some sort of dark force tornado kills everything.
Right.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm rambling, Brian.
That would have been really cool though. I'm not against that idea. I think that would have been sweet.
Once I saw him drink alien titty milk, I was like, oh, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
And I know it was a callback to Aunt Beru's blue milk from, you know, A New Hope.
Yeah.
Before she got roasted.
Oh, totally.
And I'm not talking about her Instagram account. I'm talking about in real life.
Yeah. Oof, that was a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you...
Y'all smell barbecue? Oh, that's Uncle Ben and Aunt Beru.
Whoops-a-daisy. What kind of rubs on that?
Exactly. Plaster.
So one last thing that I saw that people are like losing their, you know, flopping their tits out about is Han's dice, because you know, they get picked up.
About testicles?
No, those gold dice that they show. Because
right.
Those are the dice, like, you know, those dice are from I forgot which of the original ones.
I can only assume they hung from the rear view mirror Falcon.
Yeah, pretty much. And
why would the Falcon need a rear
I don't know. Yeah, I know.
It's a space freighter.
Actually, it would be hilarious to me if they just put one in there just for funny.
He adjusts it.
Yeah.
He sees Chewie jerking off.
No, let's not go into that again.
I know, right?
So, but you know, they're a tangible thing. Luke gets a hold of him. You know, when he goes into the Falcon, he sees him and he grabs him. And then when he projects himself,
yeah, he does.
when he projects himself to Leia, he hands them to her, and then they're in her hand, like she's holding them, and then if you notice, they dissolve. Like when Luke goes away, basically, or after Luke goes away, I think it is, they disappear. So it's like, they were real, then they aren't, then they are, then, it's like people are like, there's no consistency there to what it is.
Maybe it was just all force. That was one of the classic moments of the movie when Luke in there and Kylo being a little bitchy was like, fucking open fire, guys.
Yeah.
And then Luke's just like it's Jay-Z.
Yeah. Right. I like that too. He just dusts his shoulder.
That was quite.
Now I will say this.
Like
something I guess some people picked up on. I didn't notice it. I'll have to watch the movie again to notice. I guess people noticed that he wasn't leaving footprints. So they were like, what the hell's going on? I noticed that his beard was darker. Like his hair and his beard were dark. So I was like, I doubt Luke just for men to go fight, I mean, how arrogant.
For men.
In the meantime, how many rebels are dying while he's, getting his beard right?
He's in the mirror cleaning himself up.
Right.
He's like, I better clean up my pubes.
Yeah.
You never know.
So, I noticed that right away that he, had that and he looked younger, so, but again, I still didn't know that it was a projection. I was just like, why does he look younger and all that, so. Although now I kind of like the idea of him, getting his hair right and.
Yeah, exactly. He's that montage of him in like 8 different outfits.
Yeah.
Like, no.
He holds up the black
he's
tunic.
In the wacky one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the mirror holding up a black tunic and then the brown one and then a white one. And then his X-Wing suit, his fighter suit,
Exactly.
No. But there's porgs around him and he's like, which one, And
they're like, oh, fuck you, porgs, you suck.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's funny though, cause, like you said, as much as we basically just shit all over this movie, I still liked it. I had a good time watching it. So.
It's a fun movie.
And I'll tell you, watching kids come out of the theater, they all seem to really love it. And that's what it's about, That's the feeling. It's not necessarily going to be the Star Wars that people remember from 77 or whatever, but it shouldn't be. It should be, that's why I say I think it's the transition one that sets up where they're going forward,
Right.
Like even though now, they've paid their homage to the previous ones in these 2 movies, it's like, but at the same time, they're also distancing themselves because, like you said, Skywalker families just shit all over this universe.
Oh my god, the universe is so fucked because of the stupid Skywalkers.
Yeah, because literally, like right now, even like Ben is, he's still part of that legacy, even though he's half Solo.
Right? Exactly. Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, I really liked it. I'll watch it. I'd watch it again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I did enjoy seeing, and I'm so glad it at least appeared to be in the movie, practical effects.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Puppet Yoda.
Yeah.
Because in the prequels, CGI Yoda was like, it was cool to see him doing his dumb Yoda shit, like in full force.
Yeah.
But I liked goddamn Sesame Street Yoda.
I did too, but you're right. For all the flipping around and shit during that lightsaber battle, they really had to go CG for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I want to see, honestly, if I'm being honest here, if I want to see Yoda in his prime, I'll watch the animated Clone Wars shit with from the dude that did Powerpuff Girls when like Yoda drops a Star Destroyer out of space.
Oh yeah,
using
that's
the Force.
right. Yeah, that was really cool actually.
Right.
On a kind of a side note here real quick, I read something the other day that there's fan theories that the Genndy Tartakovsky one that like you're referring to was done from the perspective of the Empire, and that the other Clone Wars the series was done via the perspective of the rebels. Because and it talks about how like different characters.
Really now?
Yeah, it talks about how like in the first one, certain characters are like more dark and mean, and then in the Clone Wars, like General Grievous is a great example. He's really, a bad guy, a tough bad guy in the movie, but in the TV show, he's kind of a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, he's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's like they're making fun of him a little bit. Anakin is more sympathetic in the TV show than he was in the movie. Like there's different stuff like that. And I was like, that's an interesting, I doubt it's true, but it's a really interesting, it kind of changes how you see, the episodes a little bit,
Right, for sure.
Yeah. And if anybody hasn't watched the Clone Wars, you're missing out. You should go watch it. It's really good.
You talking about the Gennady ones or or like CGI ones?
Yes. Both. They're both good.
I haven't watched the like series they put out. I need to get on that shit.
Yeah, and Rebels is good too, but it's not on like Netflix. It's a Disney show, so they probably won't put it on anything other than Disney.
Yeah, it'll be on Mickey Stream or whatever we're gonna call it.
Mickey Stream. I'm sure that's it. They're probably pissed when they hear this podcast. I'm like, how do you know?
I'll be like, God damn it, Spurlers.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably wrap up. We
just our theme song, Spurlers.
Right. That's true. We do.
But I still had a third of a pint, Brian.
Yeah, but we just tipped 3 hours. So.
Fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
So we should probably wrap up here. So. Yeah. So, hope everyone enjoyed it. There was something I forgot, over on Facebook, actually, I guess before we completely close it up here, I actually had posted, a thing asking people who didn't like, The Last Jedi to tell me why, and I was like,
on this?
What was that?
Did people post on this?
Yeah. I'm waiting for Facebook to load here because it's being a cunt.
Because like 8 million people are logging on just to play goddamn Candy Cunt.
Wow, I don't remember seeing that game.
It's a sweet ass app. You should download it.
Yeah, I might give that one a go. Damn it, I can't find it now. I'm trying to find my damn post.
Get posted.
Here we go.
I have a sweet thing I got for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like a universal koozie. It's all stretchy and shit. You can go on the beer bottles, cans, pint glasses, everything. Mm-hmm. But it says it's Chewbacca. And it's Chewbacca when he's got a blue do-rag on. It's pretty sick.
That's funny. I like that. Okay, here we go. I found it. So, Roy McMillan said, I watched it the first time and hated it. Watching it a second time turned my attitude around. The first time, I really didn't like the pacing. Leia, Luke acting like Yoda, and what happens after Snoke interrogates Rey. I thought the Finn Rose scene sunk the whole movie. It also could have used more Jedi fights. Even with all that, I changed my attitude about Kylo Ren the first time. I may not see the movie a third time in the theater, but I will when it comes to VOD or Blu-ray.
That's a little bit better in this movie. Although, in Force Awakens, the one moment where he just stops the blaster bolt midair. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. You're right. Our pal Diggity said that he loved it, but he said he'd heard a lot of people complain that the casino scene was unnecessary and seemed like a forced way to include those characters. And
fuck you, Planet Vegas.
Yeah. Jeremy.
What happens on Planet Vegas stays on Planet Vegas.
It should have.
That's what I say.
Where is it? Jeremy, says, Nathan nailed it on the head, me and Diggity. Basically, 45 minutes of the movie featured them going to get a really good locksmith. However, all they got was Benicio del Toro, who mumbled his way through yet another boring performance, and in the end, nothing at all came out of finding him.
Accurate.
Yeah. Our pal Jason Morrow said, too much kung fu, too many jokes, too much silly robot saving the day, too many starring characters, too much power on the good guy's side.
Wait, too much kung fu?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
To him, there is. Apparently he has a limit for kung fu.
That's bullshit.
Well, you take that up with him. I can't, Joe says outside the casino in Magic Leia, I loved it.
Magic Leia.
Yeah. Anne Marie says, didn't feel connected. Most of the movies are like, here's one thing going on and here's something else going on, but look, they all connect. This one felt more like, here's the story we are including because we are forced to show these characters versus here's the actual story of what the movie is and should be. Take out the casino and I'm happy. I still loved it. Boy, the casino's just taking it on the chin.
It was dumb, man. It was so dumb.
Yeah. That, you know what, that planet would have been great for, like, if they wanted to do that, that would have been great for something on, like, the Clone Wars, the TV show or whatever, where they could explore it a little bit, pace out the whole show, focusing on that, have them save some slaves and then they're off the planet,
Like in the Lando movie, just him, like, rolling dice and banging bitches.
Yeah. Which I think is the subline to the movie.
I agree.
I think it's called Lando rolling dice and banging bitches.
Probably.
Yeah.
Wait, Lando, rolling dice and banging bitches, comma, works every time.
Nice. Well, he better hope it does.
Sure. Let's talk about a space condom.
Right. And Matt says, I need to see it again because I hear a lot of people enjoying the second go. From what I remember as of now, the floating Leia and casino side mission bits weren't so fresh. The Kylo Rey stuff was good, a few cheeseball bits that weren't necessary. Said his brother raised a good question. If the movie ended when Kylo asked Rey to join him, would we have enjoyed it more? Was Crate necessary to move along the story? Crate's the salt planet, if you didn't know. Might have been a better cliffhanger and set up for episode 9. Just a thought. That's an interesting point. I do kind of wonder that too, because the ending of it felt, it didn't feel as, like, I think it would have been great if they had ended it right there, like showing Kylo just kind of going into his rage and stuff,
Right.
Taking over the First Order, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Because one of my favorite parts in the whole movie is when he says, God, I can't remember what he tells one of the guys, or he's in that general guy that's the buffoon through the whole movie, basically. Questions him and then he just throws him against the wall. Force throws him against the wall.
Right.
And then the pilot of the ship just immediately goes, right away, sir. And just,
they've all seen it before.
Yeah. That was great. All right. So yeah, that's what, people posted on my Facebook post. So,
excellent.
Yeah, I forgot about that, or I would have brought it up earlier. So, all right. So that's Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We both ranked it about the same, which was what, 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5. Shredded Kylos.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
hitting that pec deck. Yeah. Clearly.
Maybe he's got a salmon ladder in there.
Ooh, nice.
Well, yeah, he got it from Arrow.
Dude, salmon sounds delicious right now.
Settle down, dude. Settle down. Think about breakfast.
It's fun.
What?
Is I finished my pint.
All right. So that means it's time to go then.
Yes.
All right. Talk to you next week, folks.
Fucking live long and prosper. Oh, it's Star Trek. May the Force be with you.